no remorse. Catch him lacking, it's gonna be a body. We ain't showing no remorse. Catch him lacking, it's gonna be a body. I broke her back in the Maybach. Shorty horny, she told me to lay back. Love my style, so they rate that. Run up on me, I'm pushing the whip back. She just gon' let me hit it, cause she heard about me. Heard I'm getting money, that's facts. Bitch, we the latest niggas in the city. We don't gotta brag up on it, that's that. Checking the sound, they know I started it. She wanna hang like an ornament. We gon'
what up, Relentless?
She expressive, so I'm
what up, Shamim? What's good?
Niggas get up with me. Niggas how the niggas iffy. We be bringing out the city. We be bringing out the beach. She wanna dance and shit. But I do not dance. I told y'all. Ooh. Hold on, they know my time on no clock. We ain't showing no remorse. Catch him lacking, it's gonna be a body. We ain't showing no remorse. Catch him lacking, it's gonna be a body. She wanna dance and shit, but I do not dance. I told y'all. Ooh, hold on, they know my time on no clock. We ain't showing no remorse. Catch him lacking, it's gonna be a body.
Millie, gang, gang. What's up, chat? Hey Nathan, hey Mahmood, hey Slick, hey Dan tonight, hey Royce, hey Dan, hey Jahango, hey Omar. Mahmood, day one season, bro. Day one, season one, stand up. Members, where you at? Pizza Key, what's good? Green chat, what's good, members?
Everything we had. Elvis.
W's in the chat. Season 2, season 1, everybody. Rah, rah. Rah, rah. What's good, Zenu, Alfredo, Kane, that's good.
But these houses is running shit playing soul. In the streets, hardcore, gotta watch out, I say, cause these niggas go roll. Can't I look when they get choked, trying to spin through the world, trying to scream me to go. Fuck Sally, fuck Nicky, still outside, niggas chose no cold. Deal with me, the niggas I came with, we see G's, we look at the faces. Locked up, supplying these cases, just on my crib, can't choke situations. Nigga, just drop a location, niggas get put in, start conversation. I'm in shots, I can see hesitation, burning shots, I don't need operations. I've been in motivation, why you fucking spinning through my fly? Trips on the tour or not, I empty this clip over the shop.
Trap house mob.
Roll another one.
What's good, chat? What up, members? Wake up, Abdi.
Said I'm never like you know, especially back in with the automatics, we gon' set them to heaven. Wait. Hey. Woo! Oh, you feeling sturdy, baby. Shake it. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for a nigga. And she throw it back for a nigga. Like a Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. Open all the stores. When it rains, it pours. She like the way like a Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior. Open all the stores.
What's good, chat?
When it rains, it pours. She like the way I walk in the spot, 30 on me. Buy the club, niggas know that I'm paid. Bitch, I'm a thot. Get me lit, I can't fuck with these niggas, cause niggas is gay. All in my page, sucking dick. All in my comments and screaming my name while I'm in the club. Throwing them hundreds and 50s and ones. They know I'm wildin'. If I'm on the island, I'm stashing the cell. Brody got locked, the night is bail. Until he free, I'm raising hell. Tell my shooters, call me FaceTime. For all the times we had to FaceTime. 50 nights, I do a state time. If you need the glizzy, you can take mine. Please don't play my tomorrow. You know I'm like that, I'll make a movie like TNT. Black 30 on me, as you really want it. I bet I air it like DMB. And I didn't want him in my section. And I keep that 38 for the weapon. Remember when I came home with correction? All the bad bitches in my direction. She like the way that I dance. She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I woo. And she let it clap for a nigga.
What's good, chat? Hey!
And she throw it back for a nigga. Yeah, she throw it
How you doing?
Like a Mary. Millie Jean, Billie Jean. Christian Dior. Come up in all the stores.
Creativity Kid just dropped. Thank you, Easy. What's up, mods?
She like the way I
Yo, mods, I need to be on 10 today. The chat has been disgusting recently. Shout out 808 Mellow. Shout out my chat. What's good, chat? What's up, Cringe Guy? What's up, members? What's up, Ada? What's up, Donovan? What's up, Arlo? What's up, Bootmonger? Henry, I Cook, K.
Yeah. I'ma get to him like that. It's funny. You know the vibes. Fuck this.
What up, David? It's Russ. Ayla, Sophie, Janaza, Eduardo, X, Green Chat. What's good, members?
Plug here. What about Big Kitchen. Bow. Bow in. Hold on. Yeah. Big drip. I'm gonna love with a lit bitch. Ayy. Crip shit. Ayy. She wanna suck on the lit dick. Ayy. Couple bitches I get lit with. Couple bitches I get lit with. I been spit. I give a fuck who you been with. Ayy. Bow. They loving the style. Send me the Addy, I'm hunting them down. Send me the Addy, I'm hunting them down. Bow. Bitch, I want demon time.
Yo, got you.
Straightforward, I don't need a line. I don't. I should've watched you the freeze time. I did. I brought it with me, I ain't leaving out. Bow. I brought it with me, I ain't leaving out. Shoot it with me. I give a fuck if you coolin' with me. You say ATK. What the fuck is you doing with me? Hold on. Yeezys. I get the money, I'm greedy. The bitch told me that she need me. Probably I don't like the way you treat me. Figgies. I'm getting numbers, figgies. The main person, now you believe me. Yeah. Free souls, I hear a demon. Geekin'. We winning, we on defense. She let me fuck on the weekend. Show you daddy. She said at me. You cannot hide me. You cannot hide me. No, mommy, I'm married. If you keep it secret, we can all be happy. We can post a picture. Wait, look, you better not tag me. Love, bitch. Winning, looking for him, spinning. Demons with me, sinning. Bust it up, walk away grinning. Winning, looking for him, spinning. Demons with me, sinning. Bust it up, walk away grinning. Big drip. I'm gonna love with a lit bitch.
Now this is Demon Ass Music Chat. This is Demon Ass Music Chat.
Couple bitches I get lit with.
Creativity Kid, link in bio. Link in the description right now. The shit just dropped. Fuck the haters, chat.
They loving the style. Send me the Addy, I'm hunting them down.
Stop scrolling, start monetizing. Millie on TikTok, I don't even have the app. What's up? Millie Sneeko in the chat, what's good? I don't even download this app. Hit a Millie. That's like that, I don't give a fuck about no TikTok. Wait, K-Fox producers in here? Yo, what up, Glock? Yo, Glock in the chat? No way, I know that song. Ain't no way, that's really you. You see that Dono chat?
Is this Glock?
Wait, is this Glock? No way! Is this Glock?
Run up on me, you get shot down. Run up on me and you go ahead. Got down, brody, he heavy, he fresh out the box now. This I wanna lift me cause I got some guap now. Fuck all the ops cause I got the spot now. 200 of views, they all on my cop now. Skylit grape, so I keep a Glock round. Split the boom, you all in the box now. Dog the O's, I just driving the boat. Deep in the sheets, I be moving like gold. I go with the heat cause it poke through the cold. Then I push up on me, get put on the pole. That's word to my dad. I took a grippy with 1.5. Get shade on her knees, she can't lay on my back. Looking for the G's, heard they want me back. Ducking from the B's cause I took the lag. Brody off a beam, aiming for the head. No, I won't repeat it, you heard what I said. Brody caught a hit, then he had to flag. Run up on me, you get shot down. Run up on me.
No way, Glock, where you at? That's no way, that's you.
This I wanna lick me cause I got some guap now. Fuck all the ops cause I got the spot now. 200 of views, they all on my cop now. Skylit grape, so I keep a Glock round. Put the boom, you all in the box now. I keep a knocker walking with a stick. I got a back throwing on his lick. Below got a 40, shoulda make him flip. Two underhand knocker, got a kick. That chopper go cloud, they tryna blitz up. Caught up a try with that boy, thought he missed up. How was they hitting Lucius, fuck his lips off. Double cup, no, I cannot pick up. So try to get over them, how was tripped up. Calling his phone, but he cannot pick up. Mama keep pulling me, she tryna eat. Fuck all the politics, I'm in the streets. I ain't with the fuckery, I'm tryna creep. Hey, okay, that's an op, got across the street. I'm finna get up, I don't shoot from deep. It's me right there. I already peeped, shit, so it's me.
Yo, chat, if the website's down, open up in a new tab. We got haters on watching it right now. So just clear your history, clear your cookies, and do it again. Damn, what the fuck? The website's down again? Fuck, bro, they on my dick, bro. Ain't no way. It's working for me. Ain't no way, chat. Loosen the chat.
Yo.
The website's down, bro.
Down?
Everybody in the chat saying it's down. Chat, is it down? It's not working again.
It's definitely up.
Chat, is it working or not?
It's probably because they're cookies, bro. The cookies in the DNS servers and shit like that. We had 18,000 people jump on yesterday, so now it's down. It's probably just because their cookies haven't reset and adjusted and stuff like that. But if they open it in a incognito tab or something like that, I'll drop a new link in the description. This should work as well.
All right.
But it is definitely up.
It's definitely up. Okay, but why is chat all saying it's down? Everybody in the chat saying it's broken.
It's linking them back to the old one. That's the problem because of the domains. They shouldn't be happening, but it's just because of the settings in your web browser. It's got preference settings in the cookies and domains that are taking you back to the old one. That's the problem.
All right, bro. Loosen the chat, bro. But you already said page suspended. Clear your cookies, refresh your history, try again. It's up. Half the people are saying it's up. Clear your cookies and try again. You want real cookies, bro? No, fuck that. L Red Bull in the chat, don't drink this shit either, bro. It's just, I need to be up for the stream.
Bow, 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 bow. Like every op shot, nigga. Everything died. Bow, 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 bow.
I'll do some push-ups, chat.
Don't run no trap, like, don't run no trap. Go ask my ops to get ugly. I can do like I did the sun. I think I'm blacking that nigga a dummy. He think I'm a rapper, he think this shit funny. Like, okay, both ways. Look to the photo, I'm yelling like, don't run, don't trip. They know my apartment's a throw on the six. On the rebel, hop out, gang up on him and his bitch. Fuck it, I'm in fashion, I bet I still up it. He in fashion, don't know why I'm running. Fuck it, back up, put the beat on the public. Keep dumping. Eat that baby that get it on now. All J Brown was I'm ducking. Nigga, stop putting niggas in your soul. You alright? Sign this room. Come to my block, show me you perform. They can't wait till they catch him or what? Okay, let's get it on. He became a top melly. He get shot if you talk in the car. Make it sexy.
Bitch, you get shot and get heavy. What's good, chat? How we feeling? What's up, Daniel? What's up, Gabriel? What's up, Nathan? What's up, Nee? What's up, No Ticks? What's up, Suppo, Braden, Awoken, Mahmood, Louis? Chat, is the website still down or what? It's all for me. Chat, stop telling me to watch these bum-ass haters with no subscribers and the only views they get is for mentioning my name, bro. I'm not watching their fucking bum-ass videos. We're done with that. We got better things to talk about than people using my name for for clickbait. Chat, my name is Clickbait now. My name is Clickbait now. Millie on TikTok, Millie Sneeko, you feel what I'm saying? Light a cigar, you light a cigar. It's back up? Oh, he's saying it's back up. It's back up, chat. Link in description, creativity kit. Bro, I'm not watching these bum ass fucking YouTubers, whack ass channels, bro, that just use my name from. Fuck out of here, bro. Max says play Drip by C Blue. No more demon music. No more demon music. You said you don't own TikTok? I don't. I don't have the app. I'm logged in on my computer if that counts, but I mean, I never use TikTok. It's run by my editor. I'm out of breath. Yeah, bro, I am out of breath. I am out of breath. Chat, is it up or down? Is it up or down? If you don't know how to make TikToks, bro, we have mad fucking people all. Let me show you real quick. Sneeko's on like 1.3 billion views. Hashtag Sneeko on TikTok. Sneeko knows his, look how many fucking followers he has. 279,000. King Clips is 122,000. If you don't know how the TikTok algorithm works, we're going to teach you all that in the creativity kit. Let's start making money online, bro. Stop scrolling, start monetizing, man. Stop wasting your time scrolling all day. You better make some money online before it's too late, because this is where all the money's about to be. Burger said it's up now. The site's back up. Site's back up. Site's back up. Thecreativitykit.com. The link is in the description. But you don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it, but there's valuable information in there. I trust the product. I'm happy with what the information's in there, and I'm also confident that if you buy it, you can make the money back based off the information that I'm teaching you in it. But if you don't want to buy it, then don't. It's that simple. I'm not forcing you to buy nothing, bro. Members, what's up? What's up on our green chat? I think I got, how many members we got? I don't even know. Did you hear China announced to invade Taiwan? Uh-oh. It's happening, bro. It's happening. Wax says how to make money off of it. Well, I'm going to teach you all the ways to make money online. That's all I know how to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a bum-ass YouTuber. I don't know shit. That's all I know how to do. I got that Millie plaque behind me. I've been doing YouTube for 9 years. I've worked for a lot of different people, and I've stayed independent. I know how to make money online. Teach you all the ways. And if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to do the back end, we'll teach you everything about how to make money online. If you want to learn how to be creative, if you want to learn how to make videos like me, like on my main channel, Sneeko, we'll teach you that too. Teach you everything. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. But I think that you can make your money back. I think there's valuable information in there. And honestly, I think that there's more valuable information in there than 4 years of film school. Word two. Word two. I think the information in the creativity kit is more valuable than 4 years of film school. 4 years of film school, bro, I still have to pay that loan. It's $56,000 I got to pay. I dropped out. I went to school for 2 years. Musa is my editor full-time. He's making bread. He's 19 years old, and he failed high school. I'm a dropout. He's a high school failure, and we're making bread online. So we must know something. That's all we know how to do, and we're teaching that information. We had 200 orders yesterday. It was, but haters took down the website yesterday, chat. A lot of people are hating on it. People don't want you to make money. It is what it is. We got the site back up. So W Musa for that. Woos in the chat for that. We got the site back running up. Fuck the haters, bro. Fuck the haters. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. We lost a lot of orders, but for all the people who ordered it yesterday, the site's back up. You're available to order it now. 200 people, bro, bought the course and couldn't get it because, they didn't even pay, but they couldn't process the order because haters took down the website for a bunch of spam. A bunch of people spammed the website and said it was fraud. And, you know, when you're a small independent creator, you don't have a corporation behind you. It's just me and Musa. It's just the two of us. Entrepreneurs. We're entrepreneurs. So they're going to flag it as fraud because we're not trustworthy. We're not McDonald's. We're not Walmart. Rookie says, how long is the creativity kit out? I'm saving up right now. Well, also, chat, it's a one-time payment. It's a one-time payment. It's not no monthly shit. You pay once, you get it. And also, once you get it for lifetime. I'm going to keep updating it every month. We have monthly Discord calls. If you want to talk to me, you can get in there too. It's the same price as a one-on-one Patreon call before I changed it. We'll do Discord calls. We update information. There's a community. If you want to talk to like-minded entrepreneurs, you want to find people to network with, that's all going to be available there. What I learned in Puerto Rico talking to the multimillionaires is that information is the most valuable thing now. Talking to people who have the right information is some of the most valuable thing that you could have to make money. And so when you go to school, all the information gets outdated in 5 years. They make new editions of the book every fucking year. And they're teaching you stuff that the teachers have learned. The teachers are all 50. They don't know. They don't know the current. But the internet moves so fast now. So the information that we're talking in there is like not available anywhere else. You can't learn that shit in school. You can't learn that shit in YouTube tutorials. The stuff I'm teaching there is 9 years of experience. We'll teach you how to edit, how the algorithm works. I used to work for Mr. Beast. Like, I know how clickbait works. I know how this shit works. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. But Chad, there's the people in here who are going to go and learn some valuable information from the course. And there's also the people that are going to complain about it all stream and spam L. And it is what it is. They're wasting their time. My whole motive of the course is to stop scrolling, start monetizing. And the more time you spend scrolling, you're a bot. Other people are profiting off of your dopamine. So if you're spending all day on this, then you might as well learn how to make some money on it. You might as well learn how to adapt to the current marketplace, which is social media. I want to watch Steven Crowder change my mind. There are only 2 genders.
So if you were to intentionally misgender a trans woman, that could put her at risk of murder. You understand that? Because people think because trans.
That could put her at risk of the M word. I love Change My Mind. Shout out to Steven Crowder. It was a big inspiration for my 1 Minute Podcast. Chat, if you've seen the 1 Minute Podcast before, we have a lot of people stumbling in from TikTok. They don't even know that I have a main channel, but I've had a series that I've been doing for a long time, for years, an interview series, which is very similar. The table setup and everything was just like this, but Steven Crowder is more argumentative. I was just interviewing people. To be honest, this is way more interesting because you have to edit the shit out of all the people talking because a lot of people talk nonsense. So the 1 Minute Podcast is like pretending like I care about people's opinions. Change My Mind. It's just like, I know the truth. Let me tell it to you and argue with you.
I hate to ruin your polite discourse, but you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
I hate to ruin your polite discourse, but fuck you. Do you hear the entitlement? Chat, you hear W right now? All the W people who've seen the 1 Minute Podcast. There's a lot of people who have no idea what the hell that even is. I recommend watching that. It's on my main channel. It's my favorite series. It's like unique to me. A lot of people have tried to copy it. And I got inspired a lot by Change My Mind, but it's different. It's different in the sense that it's in the New York City subway. I'm interviewing more people. He's always on a college campus and he's not interviewing, he's arguing. And you see people hate him way more. I kind of go undercover. I pretend like I don't know the truth so I can hear bots' opinions.
For putting that on display for the whole world. Fourth installment of Real Conversations. Change My Mind. For those who haven't seen the series, this is just a series here where we set up shop.
Real.
They're coming in, I guess we can say, cocked and loaded. And after the video, you can stick around to see where you can buy the Change My Mind shirts. And
I've never fun story ride that fast someday a boo.
And does it say?
Never done it. I've never
Thomas. Steven, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, so
Chat, can there be more than 2 genders? What do you think? This is one of the most viral. This video got shadow banned. It has 43 million views and you can't even find it when you search it, but they still, like, the truth really prevails. I personally think there's only 2 genders, but what do you think? Put the number in the chat.
you know, this is just a series we do where we let people know my point of view. There are 2 genders. Go ahead and change my mind. It's the opposite of cable news. We're not going to edit anything out of context. You said you disagreed. I'm open to new ideas.
Well, I'm wondering the phrasing of the question. Are you arguing that there's not more than like man and woman? Or are you arguing there's not a difference?
Damn, chat, everybody says no? You know that you're all part of the problem? You're all toxic and problematic? Do you know you're all transformer-phobic?
Between sex and gender, or?
Yeah, I think there are 2 genders, male and female.
Okay, so you're saying that male and female is a gender, not a sex.
That's the dumbest argument that these people make. Gender and sex are 2 different things. Sex is biological and gender is a construct. Chat, are gender and sex not just exactly the same thing, just different words? Come on, bro.
Okay, so. Okay, and see that's where I would have to disagree.
Okay, how so?
That
Gender is a social construct.
male and female is something that would be by birth. For example, you probably have a penis, a male sex organ, as would I. But
Why would you assume that?
do you?
But you assumed it, though.
Okay, I did. I apologize.
No, listen.
He's already transphobic and he just started.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do any gotcha.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you assumed that I have a penis. Why?
Because he looked like a man, bro. Look at him having to do mental gymnastics. Why did I assume that?
Because you.
Is it because of a societal construct?
Yeah.
Because he's a man, bro. Just say it.
That's why?
Yes.
It wasn't because of my bone structure or my penis bulge.
Hey, yo, bro.
Male and female is different than being a man or a woman.
Okay.
And the fact that we have, as a society, created man and the male gender roles, and just as women gender roles, just as we would.
Chat, do we create those roles, or are they just natural? Is that just what's supposed to happen in every species? Is this something that someone decided and made up, someone wrote legislation for gender roles, or is that just the most natural thing ever?
Anything else the same way that we would say that, I don't know, that music is good, or that we have created it to place people into roles. And so I'm saying that if you were male or female, if you identified more as a man and the gender roles that go with being a man, that you have that.
So you're saying that sex and gender are very different.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. So that's your premise. So that's based on kind of modern gender theory. When did that start?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Someone just donated 5 and said Steven Crowder's an L. I don't understand why. He speaks facts for the most part. I listen to him like, yeah, he's a white dude, and so people are like, oh, you're a Trump supporter. But I have the same opinions as these guys, but I don't get labeled the same way as them. I think because I'm not a white dude. It's really easy to label these guys. Oh, right, you're.
Okay. So why? Let me ask you this before we get to the history. Why do you accept that premise?
Because he was told.
Because it makes the most sense to me. The argument that we've created roles such as being feminine, and we have associated it with being female as opposed
Mods, clean up the chat.
to being female is being feminine.
Sure. You understand that there are inconsistencies there. For example, with your presumption of my penis. Let me ask you this then: how many genders are there?
I would say we would say that there are 2 genders, being man and woman,
Okay.
and then that there would be people that don't accept either of those, and that would be in a X or non-identifying category.
What's the number? How many genders are there?
Infinite amount.
I couldn't tell you.
Isn't that important? I mean, the point is that before 1948 with Simone de Beauvoir, and then Judith Butler with modern, sort of postmodernism, feminism theory, gender and sex were effectively interchangeable. You can even look on legal documentation, depending on the permit. They are legally interchangeable. I mean, this is the way it's been with societies for millennia. We've had male and female. So when you radically change that, you do have to have a number, in my opinion, and some kind of an end game. It can't just be, well, we're going to shift the rules based on how people feel. So I can understand if someone says, hey,
Exactly what we're doing is we're just shifting the rules based on people feel. And that's why people are now identifying as birds, identifying as they, them. These are my pronouns and you must say them. Matt Walsh had a great point. He said, why do you get to declare your pronouns? Do I get to declare my adjectives? Can I just identify as my adjectives are handsome, brilliant? How is that any different from declaring your pronouns?
Wrong that there's a difference between sex and gender, but the burden of proof at that point would be on the person asserting that they're different to tell me how many genders there are. Because we as a society, right, have to know this. We have to function within certain parameters.
And I would say that those parameters for gender would be whatever that person wants.
Whatever they feel it to be.
Parameters would be if they identify as a man or a woman or
a bird or a plane.
They don't identify, that would be their prerogative, and that it's not my place or your place to tell them that they have to identify with being a man even if they are male, or they have to identify as a woman even if they are female.
But we do that all the time. People want to be things that they aren't, and we say that's not the case. You know, this is, we constantly do that as a society, so I don't understand why it's...
I'm really sorry to interrupt your conversation, but I have some logistical questions for you. My name is Lauren Chapman, and I work at SMU Student Activities.
Yes.
We manage the outdoor events request process.
And we're gonna kick you out because I work at the student activity. Shut the fuck up.
Are you the sponsor
Look at her, chat. What emoji should we spam for her? I'm not saying it.
of this activity?
It's College Republicans, actually, and you can speak with Darren, wherever Darren is. He spoke with Drew, and we have a permission. So,
Okay.
thank you very much. So, sorry, I'd like to continue on that thought. Where were we? Sorry, I forgot.
You were talking about we do it all the time.
We do it all the time. So why is it a problem to do it if someone we know biologically is a male or a female? And that can never be changed.
Yeah,
It can never be changed biologically. But someone chooses to say that they're not. That's a very modern idea.
Yeah.
And the question is, why do we now have to subscribe to that? And then it gets into the idea of
Chat, she's brave! Stop!
compulsion of compelling language, you know.
I work for the Student Activity Association, and I don't like what you're saying, so go away.
Gender pronouns, what's allowed, what's hate speech, right? It's a fundamental retransformation of society based on, from what I'm hearing from you, unless I'm mistaken, abstracts. I haven't heard a number. I haven't heard what defines male or female.
Yes.
Only how people feel, and to me, that's not very convincing or conducive toward a productive society.
Okay, and I would argue that, for example, we're talking about like you said when I assumed that you had a penis, when I have no idea if you have a penis or not. And
Yeah,
saying
that was pretty racist of you.
that people,
I got a nice big penis there.
okay, and so that people when people subscribe to being, you would say you see somebody that you would presume to be male, and you ask and you would assume that they would identify as being a man.
Sure. As you did, yeah.
Yes, and so if, but if you had told me that you in fact don't identify as being a man, that you identify as being a woman.
Oh my god, bro, identify. Blah, 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 blah. This is why people get mad, like, why are you not patient? Why don't you sit down and have a formal conversation? Because just you hear this nonsense coming out of his mouth.
I would believe that would be wrong of me to try and subscribe you to being a man when you say you identify as a woman.
What if I told you that I believe I am a bobcat?
Well, then I would say that that's how you identify, and that's your prerogative.
Good for you, man.
Good for you. I can allow that. And it's just people are, you can identify as a cat now. It makes no sense. That makes no sense.
But would you accept that? Would it be wrong of you to not accept it?
Yes.
Really? Okay, well listen, I appreciate your intellectual consistency. Why would it be wrong of you to not accept my identification as a bobcat?
Because if you identify as a bobcat, man, go for it. Great for you. I hope you're the best bobcat on the fucking earth, man.
Even he knows while he's saying it how dumb that is.
Well, I appreciate it. Listen, I think you're a nice guy. I hope this has been productive, and I believe this has been civil.
Yeah.
But you do see, obviously, this is a very emotive argument that you're making, right? You're making an argument from a very emotional place, and I think it's because you're compassionate. It's because you're a good person. But and I appreciate your
Chad, what do you identify as?
intellectual consistency. But the ramifications of saying that we have to acknowledge somebody legally who identifies as a bobcat, you understand, would be insurmountable. The ramifications would be all sorts of new legal identifications that would be required, which don't currently exist. Why the conversation? I would love it if you want to sit down afterward, and I would love to sit down and have.
Look at her, bald girl, like, and they're always like, chat. I know that there's, but it's usually like a mid-white person. I found this correlation with the Transformers and how much identifying they do. It's usually just an average whitey who just needs a personality.
Continue this conversation. I would. Well, are you? Thank you, Thomas. Are you done?
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Thomas. Thank you.
I'm Madison. I'm co-president of Spectrum, the
How long until she gets triggered, chat? How long is she gonna last before she gets triggered and leaves?
LGBT organization on
Uh-oh, head of the LGBT organization. Spicy.
Great.
Love to talk to you about this.
Great. Thank you, Madison.
What are
My name's Steven.
Okay.
I appreciate it. You sitting down, and What is it that you disagree with?
So I think you're confused on the idea of gender versus sex.
I'm confused, okay?
Yeah, okay, so when we say there are only two genders, we often confuse the idea of gender and sex.
Sure.
Sex is a generalization
And gender's a social construct.
of XY chromosomes, so we assume that, or, XY, XX, combination of chromosomes. So we assume that, male and female comes from your chromosomes, right? But that's really just the idea that there's only two
Chaz, you ever see Caillou?
possibilities of sex, right? So even within sex itself, you can be born intersex, which
Okay.
means that you're born with.
Bro, there's only I hate this argument because there's literally 4 people who are intersex. You don't need, okay, they can have a different pronoun. If you got a dick and a pussy, fine, sure. But that's 3 people. That doesn't have to, the people I'm they, them, gender fluid, it's them.
Sexual characteristics of both what we would consider male and female. And then you have gender, and gender is more about a mental state based off of societal norms. So within our Western society, we often discuss gender as being binary, meaning that there's 2 options.
Sure.
So boy, girl, man, woman. However, in other societies, non-Western societies, there are more than 2 options.
Okay, can I ask you
Cap.
a couple questions there to unpack?
Wrong.
Appreciate you taking the time, by the way. Sir, what was your name?
Madison.
Madison. So let's go to the sex concept before gender, I think, because the idea of gender being different from sex is predicated on the idea that sex is binary. That's where you mentioned that term, gender
I hate that I have the same cut as them, her.
binary. So you mentioned intersex.
During quarantine, when I couldn't go to the barber, I used to get the same exact cut as them, but now the fade's already growing in. But we have the same cut.
Okay, I'm aware of intersex. Now, of course, intersex doesn't necessarily mean that someone is completely between sexes. Usually they have very identifiable characteristics, like a very large clitoris or micro penis. In that case, it also affects 0.08. People think this is funny, it's just true. Less than 0.08%.
Chat, name one intersex person. Have you ever heard an intersex person? Most of you don't even know what that is. Have you ever even met one? It's a dude with a dick and a pussy, or a girl with a dick and a pussy. And most of the time they just chop it off and choose one.
Of population Earth.
But they still
They still exist.
They
Let me ask you
exist,
this.
so I get to change my gender because they exist. Look at you appropriating intersex culture.
In human anatomy class, how many fingers are you taught human beings have?
We're told typically that people have 10. However, there are people
However, there's other people with 9. Shut the fuck
born
up.
with 11
But you're
fingers.
taught 10, right?
Yeah.
So we don't teach people, there are people born with 11 fingers, there are people born with 12 fingers.
Yeah, but we don't completely dismiss that those people exist just because that they're uncommon, do we?
We teach that human beings have 10 fingers. I would wager that everyone here has been taught, yeah, human beings have 10.
It's such a dumb conversation, but look how everyone's intently listening. But this is just really, really obvious shit.
Figures, of course, there are anomalies. That's the same way that we treat intersex, or these, as you said, you mentioned chromosomes, genetic abnormalities that are a very extreme case. So I think what we need to do is remove this extreme case with sex, just as we would with how many fingers, toes, how many kidneys you have, how many feet you have. There's something that's typical, there's something that's atypical. Then you go to gender.
Chat, stop putting the pig emoji. She's a queen. He's their queen.
This is where, listen, I'm open. Everyone has said sex is different from gender, and gender is not non-binary. So I would allow you to kind of unpack that for me.
Yeah, so in Western society at least. So in our country, in our society, we tend to think of gender to be on this binary spectrum of not even really a spectrum, just a binary. So you have man, woman, and that's it. Those are the only 2 options. However, gender really is more of a spectrum. So it's non-binary. There are not just 2 options.
Okay.
You have man, woman, and then everything that doesn't fit into just man and woman is considered non-binary. That's an umbrella term, and that includes a lot of different categorizations.
So how many genders are there?
There's infinite, as many as you want.
You can't put a number on the number of genders.
Called it.
Because everyone
Wrong.
uses different words to classify themselves.
How dumb is that everybody uses different words? If everybody uses different words to classify themselves, then language has no meaning.
Disagree. That's where it changed my mind. I'm not convinced that anyone can just use any classification for themselves for their gender, and certainly not that then we have to compel society. To address them this way. Right, I'm sure you can understand that the compelling of language is an issue.
So what gender do you think you are?
Well, I'm a male.
Okay, well I think you're a woman.
No, legally I'm a male.
Oh.
I think you're a woman? What?
It says on my driver's license that I'm a male.
Okay, so that's your sex.
No, it's yeah. I'm also a
That's your
male.
sex. That's your sex.
It says on my carrier
So,
certificate that
I
I'm a
don't-
male.
Semantics. That's your sex, not your gender.
If I said I
Gender.
don't
Some legal
believe you?
documentations say gender.
What if I say I don't believe you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you don't believe me.
No, it doesn't matter because biologically.
What gender do you think I am?
I have no fucking clue, Caillou.
I would assume you're female.
Yeah, see, you're making assumptions.
Yes.
I identify as non-binary.
I identify as non-binary. It's just mid-white people. It's average-looking white people who just don't look feminine enough, and so they kind of look like a boy. And so instead of just being an ugly girl, they're non-binary.
I don't respectfully. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Now, let me ask you this: what would you say if I
It matters
have?
what pronouns you use for me. It matters how I'm
Okay.
socialized in society. It matters my gender.
It matters how I'm socialized in society.
It matters the way that
Bot in the chat, bro.
I'm allowed to express myself. It matters what bathroom I use. It matters who I'm allowed to live with. It affects every aspect of my life. So you saying
So chat, if I just identify as non-binary, can I go in the girl's bathroom and just, yeah, look at that non-binary dick, bitches?
What pronoun should I use?
you should use they them pronouns. So you saying that you
And
don't
what if I
believe
don't?
me.
What if I don't?
If you don't, I would consider that disrespectful, and that's actually an act of violence to misgender a trans.
An act of violence? It's an act of violence to not use whatever pronouns she decides. What if I say it's an act of violence that my adjectives aren't handsome/brilliant? What does violent mean? None of these words have meaning anymore. These people literally live in imagination land, bro.
It's an act of violence.
That is an act of violence to intentionally misgender someone. Yes.
Here we come to the issue, and this is why I'm out here.
You don't even know what violence means.
You just said that's an act of violence. That means it's an
Yes.
actionable offense. That means it's a crime. So you believe that for
I didn't
me,
say it's a crime. I said it's an act of violence.
an act of
There's a lot
violence.
Okay, an act of violence is a crime, you stupid them.
things that are not considered crimes are acts of violence.
Okay, so you believe it's a non-aggressive act of violence.
I think that, okay, when you misgender someone, if you were to misgender a trans woman,
Yes.
trans women, especially trans women of color, are the most.
It's always a whitey talking about trans women of color. You don't want to shut the fuck up about people of color, bro. Just go back to shaving your head and looking like Caillou.
Have the highest rate of murder within the LGBT community, right? So if you were to intentionally misgender a trans woman, that could put her at risk of murder. You understand that?
What? I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim.
Because people think because you're trans.
I don't understand.
I
I'm
think
sorry, I
that
don't
really does
understand.
show that you're privileged in the situation then.
Yes, I
think that
believe
you're
we're both.
I think you're extremely privileged in the situation that you don't have to experience.
You're privileged. See, this is the problem. She can't accept the fact that she's privileged. So she just makes up a bunch of shit to become a minority because she doesn't want to have to work for admiration. She just wants to go find it with her pronouns. You are privileged. You're a white bitch. You're privileged. Your existence is privileged. You have it so easy. But you're just mid and shave your head and now you're a minority. Okay, cool, bro. No, you go back to being white, bro. So, it's not all white people. It's them, bro. Like, what the hell are you?
Experience that, or that you don't have to worry about that, or consider that you don't feel like you need to respect people's pronouns.
I'm considering this and I'm asking you questions. You said these are the pronouns I need to use.
Yeah.
I said, what if I don't? You said that's an act of violence.
Yeah, I would
so
consider
I'm
that
trying
an act of violence against me.
Okay, so that's
I
a
would
crime.
consider that
an act of
Just because you consider it an act of violence doesn't make it an act of violence, dummy.
violence against you is a crime.
She needs Jesus, bro. Thank you, finest guy. She needs Jesus.
I would consider that.
I know it's not just white people. I know it's not them, but pretty much. I've never met a non-binary fucking Asian. Have you met a non-binary, like, straight off the border, hopping off the wall Mexican? No, they just get to work. These white people are bored, bro. In the Midwest, they got nothing going on, so this is what they do.
I would consider you being disrespecting me as a person, and that's not okay, and that's not even ethical. It doesn't matter if it's legal; it's not ethical. And I don't know how you can do something that's considered unethical.
I don't know how you
I can't believe you would say that.
cannot allow me to speak and ask questions based on your own premises. Please, we're trying to keep this civil. I haven't yelled at you. I haven't
I'm not
accused you of
yelling.
anything. You're getting very heated. You said that's an act of violence.
Chat, how long until she gets up and leaves? She's already triggered, but how long until she dips?
That's a crime. Okay.
I didn't say that was a crime. You're
An
putting
act of
words in my
violence. You said
mouth. I
an
never
act
said
of
that was a
violence
crime.
against you is a crime. So
I did not say that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Wrong. You said it is an act of violence
I
against
said
you.
it's an act of violence, and I said misgendering anyone's an act of violence.
Yes, you said it is an act of violence against that person. That is, in fact, a crime. So here's my question. Since we've now decided we don't know the number of genders, it's a spectrum. It exists. There is no set number You've asserted the premise that we are required to use the pronouns that are preferred by the individual. We have no idea how many pronouns there are. We can never know how many pronouns there are. And to not use a proper pronoun
You could ask.
is an act of violence against them. Did you ask my pronouns before you sat down?
Nope! No, you didn't! You fucking toxic, homophobic, racist incel.
No, I didn't ask your pronouns because
Why?
I haven't referred to you with pronouns.
You didn't ask my pronouns, though. You just said you can ask.
Yeah, you can ask. What are your pronouns?
But you didn't ask.
What are your pronouns?
Now she's asking.
You just talked about me being privileged. You understand? No one goes around asking pronouns before they speak with people.
I asked you
and
how
so to
you
ask of a
identify yourself.
restructuring of society
I did ask you how you
based on a
identify
number
yourself.
that's
Did I
not tangible with gender versus sex is something that is incredibly corrosive.
Did I not ask you how you identify yourself?
No, I don't believe so.
Yes, I did. I did actually. You said you identify as male, and that would.
After the conversation, sure. Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's say that. Sure. So we need to ask pronouns before every person.
yeah.
And if we don't use those
if you don't-
pronouns,
Yeah.
how many pronouns are there?
As many as people feel like it. Ready?
It's the same kind of thing. There aren't like a
Sorry, would you
limited number
just
of
so
pronouns.
people can see the sign? Would it be okay if you just step aside for just a second there?
There's not
We
a
also have
limited
camera
number of
going.
pronouns.
Thank you very much. There's no limited number of pronouns.
No, I would
But if
say
someone-
the typical ones are she, her, hers, him, his, her, his.
Okay.
Sorry, him.
Him, who, ha, he, ha, lu, zem, z, zem, they, them, theirs, kapu, pa, papu, caillou.
He, him, his, and they, them, theirs. Those are the typical number of pronouns. We usually use 3.
Okay. So I just want to, again, the goal is here to change my, I'm open to new ideas.
Yeah.
There's no set
Yeah.
different kind of space around us. I think, I don't, no one's being accosted here. We're just having a conversation.
There's no question of accosting. We're just trying to like bring the conversation so that it's not like a.
Look at him trying to silence an open discussion. He's being respectful, and they want this to end so bad. They want to live in their nonsense so bad, you can't even have open dialogue, bro.
Like a separate stage spectacle kind of deal. So like we're all in conversation around, and we can like engage with your sign. And
Sure, I appreciate it, but it's not though. Actually, it's a conversation between 2 willing participants right now,
I would
and
be
I
okay
will
with
go.
other people talking as well, though.
I'm not. I don't consent. So,
this is your setup, and we're supposed to just follow your rules. And this.
yes.
Yeah, it's his fucking show, stupid. Make your own. Why are you complaining?
One is invited, and we've gotten the proper permissions, and I've said,
Open campus, a college campus.
Sure, it's an open
We can
campus.
actually do whatever we want.
you can do whatever you want. You can protest, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be engaging in conversation with the crowd.
Necessarily have to be my rules.
What's your name?
No, that's not incorrect.
I'm a student
But I would love to continue my conversation here. So when we talk about
Bro, he's such a W interviewer, bro. I would have been heated by that shit. That stupid ass. Like, actually, this is a campus and I could do whatever I want. Okay, but like, he's not doing nothing wrong. He's asking questions, exercising freedom of speech, and she's like, yeah, I would have been already tight, bro.
Gender and sex, right? This is a very new idea. You said in Western society.
It's not a new idea.
Really?
No, it's not a
So
new idea.
when did gender theory start? When did gender and sex become separate?
Well, they're actually, it's not necessarily the idea of gender theory. It's the idea that there have been different genders outside of man-woman for centuries.
Okay, how so?
Yeah, India.
India.
In
Sure.
India, you know, they have third gender. Native American cultures, they have third genders.
Sure.
In ancient Egypt, they had third genders.
Okay.
You know, so it's a very Western idea to say that there are only two genders and that this whole thing is a new idea changing our
Well,
culture,
you know what else is
changing
a very
our
Western
society.
idea? So it seems to me your presupposition there, correct me if I'm wrong, is that because other cultures have done this, there's a precedent.
Yeah, most cultures everywhere of all time have had two genders.
I don't think that
Well,
we're
you do-
hermetically sealed in any way.
So you do realize, and you talked about how very different it was from Western culture. So antithetical to Western culture, you named India.
Chat, WRL, who's W for... Okay, 1 for Steven, 2 for Caillou. Who's winning so far?
Ancient Egypt. You know what else? We also believe in that's antithetical to those cultures. We're against slavery.
Why?
So just-
I'm sorry. I'm really confused as to why you brought slavery.
Let me.
I'm offended, and that's an act of violence.
Talking about gender.
I would love to bring it up.
Yeah, that's kind of a
My
red
point
herring
is,
on your
because
part.
your premise is because it's found in other societies, therefore it's okay, or it is to be good. My point is there are plenty of other practices. Well, I'm trying to get to why I believe it's
Yeah.
harmful, and you're explaining why you don't. But the point is, if something was practiced in another society, and it was harmful in another society, and we agree that it's harmful, for example, we both agree that slavery was harmful.
Outside.
We both agree that maybe cannibalism is harmful. You can find these practices in societies.
Where the LGBTQs at? Like, where you at, bro? I don't see any twos, man.
My point is, it's not a valid argument to simply say it's been found in other societies if that practice is harmful. So it comes down to the idea of, is it productive or harmful for us to separate the idea of sex and gender?
Other on a forum, like you said, the ramifications for that in legal.
So that's the question. So other societies have done harmful things. I think we can agree that doesn't necessarily mean that it's
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
I don't think respecting someone's identity makes that harmful. I don't understand. I don't agree with you comparing gender identity to cannibalism or slavery. That seems pretty offensive.
I know. It seems you think a lot of what I've said is offensive.
Yeah.
You've been set up here from the get-go for it to be offensive, and I'm not trying to offend.
Because they only know how to be triggered. They just said in like, I'm right, and I'm triggered, and I can't believe you would say that. And their whole argument tactic is just waiting to call you a racist, misogynistic bigot. That's all they want to do. They don't actually want to talk to you.
Let me re-explain what it is. Take any practice, okay? Take the practice of neck stretching, for example, which is...
You see that crossed arms? Like, yeah, you're a man, and you're...
not harmful, okay?
It is harmful, actually.
Okay, well, some people...
Well, actually... You're committing a crime.
Don't think it's harmful. They don't think it's harmful in these societies. Take any practice that's relatively benign that we believe to be harmful that they don't believe to be harmful. The point is, just because another society at one point has practiced it doesn't make it correct. Can we agree on that?
I'm sorry, I think you're making really false comparisons.
No, I'm not.
I do. I think you're
Can we
making false
agree?
comparisons.
Can we agree? Because listen, there are also many...
Yo, chat, rate her fit. Like librarian vibes, like bro, you're in college. You look like you're 53. Like
societies the other way, right? Who've only ever recognized two genders, two sexes.
But that doesn't mean
that's
that
most.
These other genders don't exist.
That's most. So you're implying that those societies were wrong.
I'm implying that they have their other societal standards.
Societal
standards are based off of a lot of things. It's very intersectional. What we decide to accept in society. So if you're going to say, well, because you're
society can be wrong.
Making the same argument. Yeah, society can be wrong.
Exactly.
Society was wrong about gay marriage. I think people are wrong saying that gay marriage, being gay is unnatural and being gay is a crime.
Okay.
That's society being wrong. But you know what? We adapt to modern times, and I think that
this she's getting heated. She's ready to start throwing hands right here. No debate. She just wants to fight.
But you just compared us to ancient Egypt and India as though that was a valid argument for convincing me why they...
Look at that, how much pressure this is, and he's still staying composed. All these college kids just ready to start a protest right now.
This isn't an ancient practice. This is still going on.
Sure.
In other countries, this is still going on.
But you just said it's not fair to use other societal comparisons.
I'm
because
saying
we
it's
adapt.
not fair to compare
You're the one
gender
who did
to
it.
slavery.
No. I'm trying to get to the premise of the argument. I'm trying to get to the premise.
You can't compare gender to slavery. I'm a victim. Slavery's bad. Actually, slavery's bad. Like, that's not what he's saying, dummy.
Get the premise of your argument here, okay?
The premise
and I'm
of
trying
my
to keep this as very respectful as possible. You said this has been practiced in other societies for a long time.
Yeah.
My point is that's not an argument because there have been horrible things, maybe benign things, maybe semi-harmful things in other societies. We would both agree on that. So it's not a valid argument.
To bring slavery back, though.
No one is arguing to bring slavery back.
Exactly. So why are you?
Well, actually, they are. Of course, it still exists in other countries in the Middle East and some countries that you've mentioned.
Like I said, I don't think you're making a fair comparison. I think you're
I'm making a very fair comparison.
I think you're kind of just going on a tangent in order to try.
My point is, it's not an argument.
It is an argument. I think it's an argument.
Okay, so I will use your
argument. Our Western standards.
Yo, shout out to Juden.
Okay.
Are not necessarily the pinnacle of what we should be doing. Western societal standards do not mean that we all need to be following the same thing because we're not all Western and we don't all follow those beliefs. So if a Native American person...
Of course you do if it's the law. We all have to follow the law.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, the law is different. I think the law is different than a societal standard. So legal...
Societal standard?
Well, hold on a second. How is the law different? It is...
Just a bad fit. Like, you just look like you suck.
The societal standard legally.
Legally, yeah.
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 Let's stay within those parameters.
Okay, sure. So, there's other countries that are considered Western that would recognize a third gender.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So why not?
So how many genders are there? It comes back to if we're going to...
Chat, who does she look like?
If we're going to change this...
Who does they look like? I'm sorry for misgendering you.
So we are sitting here talking about gender.
Yeah, so if I were...
Do you hear the feminists fucking just reciting articles right now while they're having a conversation? They're so childish. Talk.
So
As a
this is a
person-
modern theory in the United
Okay.
States, right? Sex
Can I
and gender
finish?
were interchangeable.
Can I
No,
finish
I'm going to finish one sentence here, okay? I would appreciate that. You've been very privileged in speaking over me. I'm not convinced, right?
Do you hear in the background? In 2013, Fox News just like they're fucking children.
Up here for you to sit down and change my mind. And I think that's very productive for you to do with other people on campus. Right? I don't think this is a way to change somebody's mind.
I don't think you want your mind changed.
I have had
I
my
don't
mind
think you want
changed.
your mind
Well,
changed.
instead of assuming that, how about actively trying to change it? So my point is, you've mentioned that it's non-binary, but you haven't given me a number of genders and how we restructure society. You've merely pointed out that it's an act of violence to use an improper pronoun. Yet,
Nah, she dead looks like lesbian Peter Griffin. Okay,
I
sorry.
think that would have, you just
Oh,
talked
shoot.
about a societal standard. If the societal standard is using the wrong pronoun is an act of violence against somebody, I think that's an incredibly dangerous societal standard, and it's one that nobody can uphold consistently. Would we not agree?
Right. I said, I mean intentionally using the wrong gender. I mean when you know someone's pronouns, you intentionally use the wrong pronouns because you don't agree with them or you don't recognize their identity to be real.
So if I accidentally call you a he because you kind of look like a dude, I'm committing an act of violence.
That's an act of violence.
Chat said she looks like if 11 from Stranger Things ate 11.
Because that's purposely disrespecting someone. No one wants to be purposefully disrespected.
I believe me, I
If I purposefully called
understand.
you the wrong name all the time, how would you feel?
I would feel very disrespected.
How would you feel?
If you, for example, came in bombastically and other people interrupting. I'd feel very disrespected.
Hey, can she develop that active violence thing? Like, where does that take us? If someone
Yeah.
uses the offensive pronoun, it's an
Yeah,
act of
so
violence.
it's intentionally using the wrong pronoun. So if you ask someone their pronouns or they would correct you and say, no, sorry, these are my correct pronouns, and you continue to disrespect them, you have to understand how much that puts a trans person at risk.
Yeah.
So does that person go to get arrested for using the wrong pronoun, or like it's an act of violence?
Act of violence, I don't, and I know that you like to say that an act of violence means that it's legally a crime.
It is.
That's not how I'm defining an act of violence.
It doesn't matter how you define an act of violence. This
Okay,
is the thing, we have to have
it
legal
doesn't matter how you
definitions.
define an act of violence.
I identify as an act of violence.
No, it matters how the law defines the act of violence.
I don't think it does.
You don't think it matters how the law defines an act of
I
violence?
do. I'm saying that an act of violence does not have to mean that it's a crime. I'm saying that it's
An act of violence against another person, an unwilling participant.
Yo, she just said if it's disrespectful, it's an act of violence.
And is in fact a crime legally. There's no way around
Okay,
that. Can
that's
we
great.
agree
So
on that?
let's- how about
Can we
let's-
agree on that? Let's find
I'm
some
gonna-
common ground. Can we agree an act of violence against somebody else is a crime and no one should commit it?
I'm saying no one should commit it. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily.
Oh my
illegal.
God.
Like
Okay, but it is illegal.
Say something that makes sense for 5 seconds, Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
I'll allow you to assume what you want, but it is
Can I finish
illegal.
my earlier thought then?
I would like you to finish your earlier thought, but I think this is a very central point to the argument because this is one of the first things that you've said.
All she has done is just all they have done is interrupt the whole time.
Yeah.
And we haven't found common ground. We don't agree on that. I do find that the idea of
Yeah. No. Sorry. Can I hear what she has to say?
Chat, have you also, she just misgendered her. She didn't even ask how she identifies before asking her question. So chat, who's winning? Has your mind been changed at all by Carl from Jimmy Neutron?
And she wants to take my question. So since this is an equal setup,
yeah.
So
No, I appreciate. Well, you can sit down afterwards and we'll have a conversation. No, listen. I would like to have a conversation with one person, and then you can all line up and have a one-on-one conversation. But I do. I don't consent. So I'll have a one-on-one conversation.
To have the microphone so that it's not just you shoving them.
It's not shoving a microphone, dummy. It's his fucking show.
Microphone in her.
I'm not shoving a microphone in her.
Jesus Christ, you see how they only know how to be victims? You're literally shoving a microphone in her face. They just victimize themselves with the microphone? It's an act of violence to interview somebody?
I'm simply holding
This
it.
is what you're doing. So let her have the microphone.
But you just said.
Let her? It's an A, feminist! You just misgendered her! That's an act of violence!
This is not an equal setup. I've paid for this microphone. This is my microphone. So would you like to have her take your place?
I would like to finish my thought that you haven't let me finish yet. Actually.
Okay. Do we have a time code? Do we have a time code?
God, people are just the worst.
I believe it's been about over 30 minutes, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to finish my thought because it actually hasn't been over 30 minutes. It's been less than 30 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
So my thought is that you talk about legal ramifications. How many
Look at him shoving the microphone in her face by leaning in so that she could be audible.
genders are there? Okay, so when you have countries that recognize third genders or non-binary gender options, you know how they put that on their form? Non-binary, other.
Yeah, she's non-binary. They're non-binary. The feminist who was speaking up for her just misgendered her, and they didn't even say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Third gender.
Right.
How is that complicated?
Well, can I tell you how it's problematic?
How is that problematic?
It's problematic because you have people who've been sued, arrested, or put out of business for unknowingly using the improper pronouns, and that's the point that I'm making. There's been you're referring to a societal standard. What can be filled out on a form? Yeah. That's your premise.
Michael, I've connected it to the mainframe. You can hack it to your phone and make sure to text it so you can get the message in, Michael.
I'm saying there's been a societal standard, one that's biologically based, for millennia, which we've now changed, and we're punishing people who don't agree. So you may think it's disrespectful for someone to not use the pronouns that you demand. I think it's equally disrespectful to demand that somebody live in a spectrum that hasn't been agreed to and they don't even understand.
Look, she is like pouting right now. Why are you frowning, Lester from GTA? Yo, chat, W comparison. I didn't come up with that. I don't know who did it in the chat, but that is too accurate.
What businesses have been put out? Who's been put out of business for not using the right pronouns?
Oh, in the UK, this happens all the time. In Canada, Bill
can
C-16.
you name a specific business?
Yeah, and Bill C-16 in Canada is really important. For example, we have comedians who've been put before human rights tribunals
So
for
Canada
using improper
recognizes
pronouns.
a third gender, though.
Yeah, Canada does.
Legally recognizes
Yes.
a third gender. So
Yeah.
the law is their legal standard. That's their societal standard, right? So the people who aren't agreeing with that aren't agreeing with their societal standard.
Right, but it's a societal standard that flies in the
You're not agreeing with my societal standard for Mr. T Lexify.
face of biology.
But
and my
it's a
issue is,
societal standard that's legal.
so do you believe that people should be put before human rights tribunals for using the improper gender is biology. It was until 1948. You know that, right?
No, I don't agree with you on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, but when did gender theory start?
I don't know your gender theories.
Like 2 years ago. It's funny, this video came out in 2017, and like it's getting, but now there's birds, bro.
I'm sorry, I'm not a human encyclopedia.
Okay, it was 1948, Simone de Beauvoir and Judith Butler. These are people, by the way, when he started it, there were still only two genders. Gender was a grammatical issue, usually used to refer to as a noun. I'm French-Canadian, so in French we have masculine and feminine.
Right.
It really is a very new concept and one that is not rooted in any kind of biological precedent to say that there are unlimited genders. That's the issue. And so when you are jailing people and punishing people for not adhering to an entirely new system that you yourself haven't defined, I do think that that's a problem. I think saying that somebody using improper pronouns is an act of violence against someone, I just disagree. I think that's a real problem, and I would hate to see.
It's not disrespectful?
I think it's disrespectful to force somebody to use pronouns that are being invented by the day.
If I told, they're not
Yo, chat, doesn't she look like a strong 6 light 7?
being invented by the day. I don't know where you're getting that information.
How many genders are there? How many pronouns are there?
She's literally transition.
I can't define the number of genders or the number of pronouns.
Exactly,
I'm sorry.
because anyone can determine them. They are being invented by the day.
Yeah.
New genders each day.
So if I told you that I identified as, if I said, hey, I want you
I like the rattling hi-hats.
to use just my name, not my pronouns.
Sure.
Does that make you uncomfortable?
No.
Right. That wasn't hard.
Transition.
Was it?
No, it wasn't hard.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people are asking you to do.
No.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you have a TA. We just had her on the program yesterday, on Monday, who got in trouble for using the student's name because a student demanded that he use masculine pronouns even though she was a girl. And he said, "Listen, I'm not comfortable with that. I will use her
if it's
name."
Masculine pronouns, I believe that person would be using masculine pronouns, and you just misgendered them.
Yeah.
Also, the feminist defending you misgendered you, dummy.
Name.
You said her.
He used the
You
name.
just said her.
Yes. Yeah, I did because she's a female.
That's not how that works. I think
that is how that works.
So we established.
That is how that works.
You agreed with me previously that we established previously gender and sex are totally different.
No, I don't agree. No.
How do you know that person's a female?
I know that because of biology, and here's the thing: gender theory.
Did you look at them? Did you?
It's just shut the fuck up.
Happen to just examine them and decide that person's a female because of what you saw? Is there external genitalia?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you genuinely feel that I've been interrupting you more than me? You keep saying you're not able to finish a thought. I haven't finished a phrase.
I think you just finished a phrase.
That was a question, bro.
Do we want to score points or do we want to be? I think you've been interrupting me quite a bit, and you just assumed a premise.
She's been.
That I don't agree with. No, that's my point that I've not been able to make is gender theory, as you're describing it, is very new. It started with Simone de Beauvoir in 1948, and what you're discussing is the idea that actually came with Judith Butler. The first time there was this idea that there were more than two genders was John Money. I'm sure you're familiar with that case. That's very new. And there's no biological behind this theory. It is based on an emotive response. So I don't agree that gender and sex are separate. Legal documentation sometimes don't say they're separate. We're trying to adapt that now based on how people feel. And I don't think that we should adapt the law considering something an act of
She looks like Walter White before the cancer.
Violence because someone uses a pronoun which is biologically correct because you consider it an act of violence against you.
What's a biological pronoun?
He, her, his.
How do we determine that?
Language, you fucking idiot!
Whether they're male or female.
Yeah, but how do we determine that's... What if we decided that she, her, hers was what we were going to use for males?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We right now,
Yeah, right now.
we have male and
right
female,
now, so that's
his or
a
her.
current standard, right?
No, it's a biological standard.
The words that we use are based off of like what we as a society use.
As a society?
Yeah,
No, they're a reflection.
Linguistics is pretty societally based.
Okay.
Societal.
Amphibian.
What about amphibians?
Is that societally based?
Amphibian.
An amphibian is a I don't. You know what? I'm not a science major, but I will say an amphibian is a like scientific classification of an
reptile.
animal. Yeah, it's a classification of an animal species.
Bush, tree, blueberry.
Yeah. Okay.
Are
So
these
what's your
societal terms?
point?
The point is that language is a reflection of standards that we have as a society. Are doctors sexist?
I think some doctors are sexist.
Are doctors transphobic if they refer to their patients who have a penis and they come in for a
Those doctors are committing an act of violence.
exam?
Glasses kid from Polar Express.
The male? Is that doctor hate speaking? Is that an act of aggression?
I think if that doctor misgenders their patient, then yeah, they are being transphobic.
Okay. Well, my mind has not changed, but I think I tried to find some common ground. I'm sorry that we didn't.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madison.
I'm not gonna shake your hand. Thank
I
you.
figured.
Oh, whoa, you can't even shake a hand. Look at him, you came out on top, bro. Spam L in the chat for fucking bully from bully. Wait. Alright, sorry. Nah, not being able to shake his hand is fucking...
Thurman? Nice to meet you, Thurman. Hey, I'm doing well, Thurman. How are you?
What's your name?
Steven. Nice to meet you, Thurman. Sorry, yeah. By the way, if you'd like to hold the mic...
His name's Thurman.
microphone, you can. She never asked. Okay.
They, them pronouns. I told you my pronouns and you continue to disrespect me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay, the feminist also misgendered you and she didn't. Thank you for disrespecting me. Oh, wow. You're just gonna commit an act of violence? Thank you. I'm staying in a place that I don't like. I could be in a class or doing anything else, but I'm staying where I'm triggered.
Okay. Here's the thing. That was actually by accident because I've been using he and her for my entire life. It's not meant as an act of disrespect, and now you see the problem in claiming that's an act of violence against somebody.
Use they, them sometimes.
I'm sure you can establish intent with every person you encounter. Thurman, how are you, sir?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it seems like there have been people who've gotten into a fight at the dinner table, and now we all have to put a good face on. But Thurman, I'm glad to have you here. I'm open to having my mind changed.
Same, buddy. So I'll just break this down for you. Basically,
yeah.
So I think what you guys were saying in your last exchange, basically, you guys are trying to establish like sex and gender, which technically are different, and sex usually boil down to more of reproductive potentials, and gender is like a lifestyle and everything like that.
More societal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's already willing to take part in the theme of the show, change my mind. He's like, okay, let me just sit down and be open-minded. I'm not going to sit and cross my arms and be triggered the whole time.
I really don't know what to make of the new like gender standards now, as in terms of like, you know, people just living whatever lifestyle they want. So if, let's say, someone that appears to be, you know, female, lives a male's lifestyle, I don't understand where we transition to like having new classifications and everything like that. But technically speaking, there are sexualities a spectrum and genders a spectrum, right? So you have, you know, your typical healthy male, your XY, you have your typical healthy female, XX. So if you have something like Klinefelters, right?
Chad, how much anime does he watch a day?
Now, this isn't just, I think there's variations of how many X chromosomes.
Can I say one question there?
Yeah.
Why do you say healthy XXXY?
Healthy meaning basically the standard, non-deviant, what people would consider normal.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have Klinefelters, right? Technically speaking, that would be non-binary. And that's not a lifestyle thing.
Chad, who does Thermos look like?
That actually is a biological thing.
Sure.
So
we discuss people who are intersex.
Yeah. So you'll have like, and that's not to say they're hermaphrodites, because we don't have that in our species. But you know, they'll have the two X's and the Y of underdeveloped male sex machinery.
I still see your shadows in my room.
It's okay. It's not going on. It's not. You're not going to. We don't need to censor anything. You can use the right word. We talked about this either. There's some men with like they call it micro penis. It's been used as an insult, but it's an actual term. What you're referring to, or enlarged clitoris. These are medical conditions as you're discussing.
They have enlarged breasts. You know, smaller. You know, male reproductive organs, high-pitched voices. You know,
gynecomastia.
Yeah. So
sure.
In that case,
and I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah. So in that case, yes, there's no debate. You know, you technically are both. Sex-wise, and gender, I honestly have no idea how to choose that. That really kind of depends on your like how severe a case is.
Sure. Can I address a couple things there? Maybe follow up with some questions. We talked about it earlier with intersex. You know, it affects such a small % of the population.
Yeah.
And most of these people actually have very identifiable, sexes. Generally speaking, it's not just right in the middle. It'd be considered, as we talked about, like the previous conditions you mentioned, men with these conditions or female with these conditions. That's often the rule with intersex. Not always, right? But as we said, we teach there are people have 2 feet. Now, some people don't have 2 feet. In anatomy class, we teach people have 10 toes. We teach people have 1 heart. We teach people have 1 head. All of these things have exceptions to the rules, right? All these medical aspects. So the point is, we don't use extreme exceptions to define our rules. As a matter of fact, that's how we consider those exceptions.
Yeah.
So biologically, sex, male and female, this is how it's been taught. I think we would all agree that, but sex has been taught that way. And then you've talked about gender. You said you're not entirely sure, so I would like to hear your thoughts, your opinions on gender, how that differs from sex, and how we define it.
Just by definition, gender is basically like your lifestyle, like choices or lifestyle rules. So if you were saying,
hey baby, I want to take you on a date.
Like,
by the way, would you like some water? I know it's hot out here.
No.
Okay.
I appreciate it. No, so like if you're defining roles, right? So like let's say like courting. So, you know, Steve, you ask a girl, you know, do you think she's cute?
You say courting?
Yeah.
I ask a dame. I go court a dame. I love it. You're using old terminology.
Dating, whatever.
No, I like it. That's very respectful. Courting. That means you're a gentleman.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you know, you see a girl, you know, she's cute. You take her out, you asked her, you pay, you know, typically this is how that goes. So that would be like your gender role as a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned gender roles, right? And I hear that a lot. We say gender roles.
Yeah.
So are we to mean that gender, as you know, authenticated through whatever documentation we provide right now, or how we have to identify people, are we really just saying, is gender a synonym for gender roles?
Well, gender roles is the behavior of your gender. Does that make sense? So like how you like identify somebody's gender is basically their lifestyle choice just by definition.
Well, I'm only asking this again. None of this has got you. I'm asking because when I asked you how gender was different, you said it was performative. It was based on behavior.
Yeah.
And then you said, but now
this guy's boring me. Male privilege is a myth. The next changed my mind. Chat, is male privilege a myth? It's a myth.
So you're getting very emotional.
Because this is serious.
Yes, of course it's serious.
This is serious. I'm a cis white male. I'm a male and I'm privileged. Please, someone be my girlfriend. I said the right thing.
Privileged male.
Stop
Why
it.
do you have to
Rape
carry
is
a
illegal.
gun to kill a male rapist when that male could just not rape in the first place?
I know.
I'm a male. I'm a cis white male. And you shouldn't do that. That's the bad thing.
No, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
fucking great?
Yeah.
Do you know why women
Wouldn't it
are
be great
so...
if men didn't rape?
Yeah.
Who are you arguing with? It's the latest installment of Change My Mind. This time, male privilege is a myth. This is going to be fun. Hey, really quickly, want to hear from you. Which subjects, male privilege, edited segment. We can go hours, and sometimes angry leftists surround and feel safe yelling from the mob. All of a sudden, I can't get to everyone fast enough. Got it. Great. So if you had
shout out to Steven Crowder, big inspiration for the Woman in Podcast.
proof, the statistics of according to the FBI. Wait, someone just booed, right?
We noted a boo. We noted a boo, and we would like to extend an invitation. Should you like to?
I'm really okay.
Beg your pardon? Well,
she could boo, but you don't want to talk. This is leftist nowadays. Just, that's wrong. Okay, why? I don't know. Goofy.
You can sit down. You can sit down afterwards, and we'll do it. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can wait your turn. What was that? Continue my bullshit. Oh, there you go. That's always a sign of an intellectual titan. But you'll get a chance at that, sir. Now, we'll come back to this gentleman in a minute. He's actually the subject of today's long-form, unedited interview. I won't bore you with many conversations because there wasn't all that much productive.
The triggered ones are the best when they get tight.
To glean from it. If you look even at our SMU interviews, the one aggressive feminist kind of took over. It was confrontational, but all of the others were really productive. Every other Change My Mind we've ever done has been pretty productive.
We don't want to watch that. I want to see people get mad.
But I noticed when discussing the idea of male privilege, or any privilege for that matter, on campus, not only was pretty much everyone hostile off the bat, but not a...
And before we get started, chat, remember, Creativity Kit just dropped, link in description. Stop scrolling, start monetizing. I'm going to teach you all the ways to become an online entrepreneur and how to make videos. That's all I know how to do, bro. I'm dumb as hell. I've just been making videos for 9 years, and now I want to teach you. Website's live. The haters took it down, but it's back up.
Single person provided any substantive argument. Every single point, without fail, was anecdotal. What rights are afforded in
How old is she? She's in college?
2018 to men exclusively that aren't afforded to women.
I feel your male privilege is a myth. I feel like...
Because this is serious.
Yes, of course it's serious.
I'm a white privileged male.
I'm a white privileged male. You're right, chat. That's the male version of...
chose it, of course, but I mean, the reason why I chose it then shapes other opinions.
My friend raped within the first 2 weeks of coming to the school as a freshman.
This also might be why, despite having a permit, the gender studies professors who, along with their students, teach the injustice of police brutality inherently within the system, called the police on us simply for disagreeing. Quick, bring in the patriarchy. So we weren't really able to finish our conversations in the first place, and at this point, when everything was anecdotal, I kind of just have to pick one. Enter this guy, the person you saw before, who was yelling and cussing at me.
Oh my God!
Beforehand, who also stayed to yell and cuss at students afterward.
I've never heard of it. You don't see it? No, I don't. You're not a white girl, bro. You're not a girl. Hey! Raise your hand if you know someone's been raped on this campus. Yes. Raise your hand if you think rape is a horrible thing.
Oh. Wow. You agree?
Watch and make your own decisions. No, come up and debunk my bullshit.
All right, you're bullshit.
It's always a great way to start a civil conversation. What's your name, sir?
Gregory.
Gregory.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So why the anger and profanity? That was such a civil conversation.
Let me answer your question. So anger, profanity, because this is an extremely sensitive topic.
And I'm a white male.
And I think it's almost ironic you come like such a university that has such a problem with male privilege. And I know you guys, the last conversation was a lot about racial things, and you wanted to talk about laws, but I want to talk about really about the practicality. So practically, you know, I don't have a car here, so sometimes I like to go down, like I go to yoga. When I walk back,
he goes to yoga.
Nights, I have my headphones on. I have like a hoodie on, so I'm not aware of my.
Doesn't he look like the vampire from the Twilight movies?
Surroundings. And I feel perfectly comfortable doing that. I wasn't really conscientious of that my entire life until a year ago. I was on the phone with my friend, and she said that she needed to get her textbook from her car, and it was like probably 11:30 at night, and she just wouldn't do it because she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't feel safe.
She didn't feel safe, but I'm a white male.
Sure.
And so that's something that's inherent as a male, biologically.
As a white male.
Larger, and just like women, that's an inherent privilege.
Inherent privilege as a male.
Privilege where I can
biological
do that.
privilege.
Biologically, you're going to be larger, taller, and you can overpower a woman. And for the most part.
Are you implying that men are stronger than women?
So you're saying that male, female is biological, first off. That's a premise.
I'm saying there's both biological and societal. And
societal.
And there's also systemic.
Systemic societal.
Systemic's going to be where it's just ingrained in a society.
Okay.
Society.
So could you?
That's all they got. Leftists just got the word society, and they think they're smart.
For example, explain to me what the difference would be between a biological male versus a systemic male, to use your words.
I did not say there's a difference between a biological male and systemic male. I'm talking about systemic male privilege and biological.
Okay,
male
well you said
privilege.
What? What? Wrong.
You said biologically men are bigger and stronger, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we agree on the
Okay,
premise
so let me clarify for you.
You're
biologically, males have privilege because they are larger. Because of that, they have a certain safety afforded to them where they can go out and then they don't have to worry about
This is what you sound like when you go to college too much, man.
You had a horrible comparison earlier about how males are more vulnerable to being burglarized or whatever your thing was.
No, I didn't. That wasn't what I said.
Okay, what did you say? They're more likely to be experience violence.
Yeah. Okay.
He guy's already triggered, bro. This is gonna end in him yelling.
Can I answer?
And
No.
Not by the opposite gender, though.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, they're statistically more likely to be victims of violent crime across the board.
By which gender?
No, you just said. Do you mean gender, biologically, or systemically?
What?
How, Sway? You just said there were differences between biological, societal, and systemic. I want to make sure we're talking about
systemic male privilege. Because you're forgetting the privilege.
I'm forgetting the systemic.
What the hell is the difference between a systemic male and systemic male privilege?
You just said.
Let's assume
biological.
College is a scam, yo. Look how dumb they sound.
Gender is systemic gender.
Okay,
There's
well, okay,
no such thing as a systemic gender. Difference is
okay. Hold on a second.
Biological gender privilege. Don't forget the privilege. It's very important.
Yeah, it's very important to remember the privilege. Yeah. Okay. Violent crime, many of them would be committed by men at large. Domestic violence is very comparable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
domestic violence would be committed on the same rate from biological women to men as men to women.
The presumption that men.
Yeah, you're saying bisexual Ben Affleck. Like, let's hear him talk.
Who are more like vulnerable to violence is by other men.
Statistically, being the victim of violent crime, yes. Statistically, also being the victim of domestic abuse.
That those victims, those male victims, are mostly being victimized by other men.
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah.
Sure. You think that's unlikely?
No, I didn't say it's unlikely.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Okay. Well, I think we can all agree on that. And then so for women, they don't have that. Biologically, we're still on the biological part.
Right.
When they're smaller, when they can be overpowered more easily, they don't have the same privilege. When they can't go running by themselves.
Well, hold on a second.
Hold on
a second. You've never let me finish my one sentence. You came in cussing at me, so I'm going to finish my sentence. And if you want to listen,
he's getting heated. He's getting heated. Come on, white male.
Great. If you don't have to. What I'm talking about here is privilege. I do not see it as a privilege having a violent crime committed against you at a multiple rate likelihood, whether it is committed by a male, but the man who is getting violently assaulted, I do not believe is more privileged than the woman who isn't. And statistically, that's the likelihood. It's not a privilege.
It is because
Chad, you're saying he looks like Alpha Morgs?
Biologically, that male who's being assaulted by another male has a better chance of defending themselves then
Bro, he thinks he's smart because he's like putting his hand down. Arthur said, be careful, Seiko. Listening to the bots can give you too much brain. Nope, we're just gonna laugh at him. That's how you dodge the cancer.
Female who is being assaulted by a male. And that's the gender difference. We're gonna talk about male privilege.
Sure.
We have to talk
Why are you slapping the table like you're making a fucking coherent point? You're not saying nothing.
about the influence on the opposite gender. I don't give a about when you're talking about like male on male crime.
Really? I do.
This is not what it's about. If
It
you want
is.
to talk
Slapping the table because I'm a white male.
about that,
Sure it
talk
is.
about crime. Let's talk about crime. We're talking about male privilege.
Yes.
And I'm bringing up the biological inherent differences between the genders.
I agree on that.
He thinks this is gonna get him laid.
Agree that biology
Women
determines sex and gender. Yeah.
Are less likely and less capable of defending themselves against the opposite gender.
Sure.
Through biological.
Listen. I agree. That's why I'm
my God, dude, like just it's been 8 minutes. What are you talking about?
supporter of women concealing and carrying.
Okay, that's a completely different subject.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's about safety, stupid.
No, it's not. It's not
Okay,
at all.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a different subject because women,
I don't want.
women
The point is, you're trying to set the premise as though for some reason
I'm
women
saying
are less
this is
likely.
not-
Can
okay,
I
let me
respond?
say
Can I
two things.
respond?
2 seconds. This is not about male on male crime, and this is not about access to firearms right now. I want to talk about the practical livelihood or existence of white.
We
of
want to
male
talk about
privilege.
systemic privilege. We want to
Oh,
talk about
sure.
systemic privilege.
Systemically, let's
And
get away from the
no, hold on a second.
biological.
You said 2 seconds. That was about 18.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm going to speak
Okay,
now, and
good
I'm not
for
going
you.
to cuss at you. So the point is, we are talking about systemic privilege. No one at any point, I am still open to it, anyone can sit down, has given me any example of a right afforded to a man not afforded to a woman. That's what we're really talking about with systemic privilege. Now we've just acknowledged, both of us, that men are statistically much more likely to be the victim of a violent crime. We're
Other men.
statistically much more likely to
Other
die
men.
at the workplace. Okay? Now, this is something that matters to me and perhaps not to you, and then that's okay, we can disagree.
Because he's in a college woke bubble.
I don't believe that the man who is 70, 80% more likely to have a violent crime committed against him is privileged, whether it's committed by another man or not. Now, I would agree, maybe we could find common ground in here. What I'm talking about is I don't want to see women victimized. As a matter of fact, most men don't. And the only way a woman would be able to defend herself against a violent crime, though statistically far less likely than that of it occurring with a man, would be a mechanical advantage in a firearm. Would you not agree?
Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah, but this is not about guns.
No, it is.
No.
It's about protecting
It's not
women,
about
and
guns.
it's about keeping women.
It's not about guns, and I'm about to get mad. This is about women. I'm a white male.
From being victimized.
Okay, cool. That's but men have also. But you want to talk about male privilege, so we're talking about
slapping the table.
Differences between the genders. You want to talk about firearms real quick? Let's end that conversation with this. Men
That's
and
an
women do not have a
equalizer.
different accessibility to firearms.
No, they don't.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
That's
this
a great
has nothing
thing.
to do- This has nothing to
No,
do
it
with
has
gender
no-
privileges.
There you go. There's no privilege there
When
as
you're
far as
talking
access to
about
firearms.
firearms.
What I'm talking about is wanting to have fewer. Let me boil it down in a way that maybe might be reductive. I would like to read far more headlines, okay, that say rapists.
This is him. This is the cartoon. This is what he thinks is going to happen after saying male privilege.
Shot dead in a ditch by a woman with a .38 special, then woman raped on campus because of some concealed carry law.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so
would
I don't
like to
want
see a lot
female
more headlines
victims.
that have nothing to do with rapists.
I would exactly.
You know why?
But how do you stop
Why
it?
do you have to carry
Rape is
a
illegal.
gun to kill a male rapist when that male could just not rape in the first place?
Okay, well, you saying that doesn't change anything. I know you're slapping the table, but it's just R word's gonna R word, bro.
I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Thank you. Why can't men? Yeah, men just stop it. But that doesn't. You clapping on a college campus doesn't stop it, stupid. You got to do something about it. You can't change all men. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah. Da 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 da.
Would be fucking great. And
Yes.
do you know why? Women
Wouldn't it be
are
great
so-
if men didn't rape?
Yeah.
Who are you arguing with? You're Don Quixote fighting windmills, man. We all agree rape is bad. You think I'm here saying rape is
They
good?
get away with it.
They don't get away
They don't
with
get
it.
fucking away with it?
No.
They get away with it on this motherfucking campus.
Really?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. They get away with it on this fucking campus.
Don't get away
They don't
with
get
it.
fucking away with it?
No.
You don't get away with it. Ready. Look at her. Starting a protest, bro. They're gonna like start a chant.
They get away with it on this motherfucking campus.
Real?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, they fucking do.
Okay,
Why are you getting so heated, bro?
My friend
Give me names.
raped within the first 2 weeks of coming to the school as a freshman. She was a fucking virgin.
As a freshman. She was as a freshman.
To Milton
horrible.
Daniel Hall.
Exactly!
You know what that motherfucker had to do? He had to move out of that hall.
But you had to move out of
That's
that hall.
about it.
Really?
Yeah, that's
so this
it.
So this was a rape.
That's
this
how
is
they do
interesting.
with
This is a so you're getting very emotional.
Because
okay?
this is serious.
Yes, of course it's
I'm
serious.
a white privileged male.
I'm a white privileged male, and I'm gonna stand up. Exactly!
I can stay in my my little bubble of TCU.
Exactly!
I don't have to turn my back. I don't have to worry about my job, my income, or anything like that. I don't have to worry about getting raped.
Well, you should.
My friends do.
You should worry. You should worry about your
No,
income.
'cause-
You should worry about communicating
No,
with other.
I'm
Well,
saying I don't have to worry
let me
about
finish
it
my
because
phrase.
it is
Exactly!
not something
You
that is
should
very
worry
vulnerable
about
for me.
You should worry about communicating with adults. You should worry about treating other people respectfully because this will affect your future employment opportunities. You first came in here and talked about how you put on your hoodie, your headphones, you don't even look around you in the periphery. That's dumb. That's stupid. You should worry about your safety.
Yeah, but you're on a college bubble campus, bro, with a bunch of woke. Alright, sorry.
That's fundamentally unintelligent. White, black, yellow, red, I don't care. It's not smart to do. It's also not smart to come in and say we should get men to stop raping as though that's going to help women.
You're not my father, but
I'm not your father. I'm not your father. But you come in here as though you're going to school somebody and cuss and yell and say you need to stop rapists. Everyone here wants to stop rapists.
Chat, should I make that a soundbite of the soundboard? Boom. Exactly!
Everyone here wants to stop rapists, okay?
You see the fucking the college conservatives showing up like these are Steven Crowder's fanboys right here. Yeah! Right wing!
The point is, this kind of doublespeak and this kind of rhetoric and this kind...
These guys all watch Ben Shapiro right here, I swear to God.
These kinds of false platitudes don't help women. Do you know what you're doing? You're victimizing actual victims of rape. There is no 1 in 5 rape statistic. When you say men get away with it, we allow men to get off scot-free with rape, it's not true.
Yeah. It's not true, and there's way more. Chat, how many women do you know have lied about the R word and get away with it? And then the guy gets in trouble for the rest of his life. They get kicked off the basketball team, and it's like, well, actually, I was just drunk. I didn't know. Oopsie, I kind of just regretted it. Silly me. I'm sorry you got kicked off the D1 team, but I was just being silly. Shut the fuck up, man.
And you absolve people of
exactly
personal responsibility. Leads to a worse society. Leads to a polarized camp.
I fucking slapped the table. I'm a white male.
It leads to, God forbid, actual rape cultures like we see across the Islamic
There's rape
world.
culture in this campus.
Is there?
Yep.
Okay, and then what is the rape culture?
This is the rape culture on TCU is brewed up by, first of all, having twice as many women. Has twice as many, it creates a different social dynamic. Greek life.
Twice as many women?
So how do you change it?
Let me continue that first example. My friend who was raped within their first 2 weeks
it's terrible.
Of college here.
See, I was doing women shit like, I know a victim story and I'm angry about it, so I'm right.
Having lost her virginity to rape.
It's terrible.
The criminal.
That's all I got.
Who was uncharged was.
Does he have a name?
Pledge. I'm not gonna release.
This
will
go out to a lot of people.
The girl.
I would love to see him charged.
Yeah, if you don't want to get him off scot-free, and you're saying they get away with it, then drop his name, stupid.
Oh, this is not mine. This is not my decision. She did not want to release his name. She doesn't want this to be a public thing.
Okay.
Don't judge her for that, so don't roll your head.
No,
okay?
no.
Why is this guy like, bro? Oh God, bro. This is what college does.
No, I am judging.
Okay. Well,
not her. I'm judging the decision.
You're judging her victim. So
I'm judging the decision. That's a bad decision because you know what? That guy.
That is a dumb decision. That's why, it's not. Bro, it's not the culture. She should just tell the police. Tell the cops. The school can't kick him out without a police report.
Go forward and rape another woman. So the stupid false victim status, I don't want that guy to go out and rape somebody else.
Then, she
blame the school because a guy raped her and she didn't give the name.
She didn't want to put the name out publicly because she did not want to be
How do we stop a rapist if we can't charge him or get a name?
Here, let me
How do we stop a rapist?
Let me talk. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay.
Let me.
How do we stop that rapist from raping again?
She made this decision. Stopping a racist would be to put him in jail.
Yes.
A racist.
To have the punishment for rape to be so significant, not just taking away a swimming scholarship and attendance at Stanford for that rapist, but at this school, she did not want to put out the name and make it a public thing because she did not want to be associated with directly. This is a small school. She puts out his name, her name gets out there. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to be known as a victim. Let me finish. The school, no. She did.
Because it's kind of her fault, bro. Like, I don't want to, I mean, but okay, but then don't complain that the guy's walking around free if you don't want to go report it. Exactly!
She did want to prevent that same person or his affiliates from raping again.
Okay.
So she told the school.
Okay, so the school and police have his name, and there was a
Correct.
he was charged.
He was he was moved out of because he lived in the same hall as her, Milton Daniel.
So you gonna say everything, the dorm, like you giving all the context. Just drop a name, dummy. Don't complain about the culture if you can't drop the name and go to the cops.
Move out of the hall. Both freshmen see each other for the rest of the 4
So the
years.
police were given a name of a man who forcibly raped a woman, and you're telling me they just removed him from the hall. This is the story?
When it comes to conviction, there are other things that are needed. Proof.
Yes.
Exceptional things, and in the state.
That's a big one.
Proof. Oh God! To get somebody convicted, you need proof. This is the culture. Okay, commit a crime. Proof. Like it just.
Will we not agree on that?
Yeah, obviously.
Proof is important.
Obviously.
Okay.
And so, when it comes to the practicalness of this event, it is. Let me talk because we talked about the culture. So I'm talking.
What are you talking about right now?
Going back to the example because they were Greek, they were pledges, the rapists.
Okay.
And you want to know what his brothers did when they found out about this?
I'm guessing something bad.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah. They did not go up to her and apologize and say, he's a bad egg. So and so, Greek fraternity, enter Greek words. Does not back this. We do not represent this. No, they harassed her. They said, do not ruin this kid's life for one dumb mistake. He was intoxicated. He was this. He wasn't thinking straight.
Sure.
He thought you were cute. Okay? That's what they did. And that's why it's systemic. I was a part of a fraternity here. I left because 2 members.
I left and
were put on our version of our internal Supreme Court. They were given chance after chance after chance.
This is what he says that like he doesn't know how to speak besides stuff that he's already said like a dinner conversation. He's felt vindicated. He probably said this at like the LGBTQ meeting, like and I was in the Supreme Court of my fraternity and I'm speaking like he said this shit 5 times before. That's the only thing he's capable of talking about. But whenever he deviates off the point or when he like brings up the fact that like you need proof, he's like, but obviously.
Positions of power within the TCU community to where they were subject to incoming freshmen, they were subject to other girls, and they used that power in ways where they ended up harassing these girls, sexually assaulting these girls.
That's
and
terrible.
Within the fraternity, they were given chance after chance after chance until they just became maybe inactive. Or they just they were not big enough, they were not a part of the fraternity enough to where they would shed badness in the light, and that's why I left.
Can I ask a question?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I think we'd both acknowledge you jumped from a few topics there, so I'd like to kind of zone in a couple and then hopefully we can move forward. So you mentioned that this man raped her, the school knew about it.
That's all he said. He hasn't made any arguments. He just keeps talking about this one case and rubbing his arms and smacking the table.
Police knew about it. He was simply...
What is he doing right now?
Moved to another...
What is that?
House. To simply move.
What are you doing? What is this, Chad?
Another dorm. Then you said that the Greek house knew about it.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
And basically was encouraging and they harassed her. Right? Okay. Do you have any proof?
Eyewitness account. And that's probably one of the reasons why it wasn't like there was no
believe all women.
There was no GoPros everywhere, that's how it happens. That's how it happened.
We just said proof was really important. So any proof of you just gave this whole example to paint a picture of white male privilege on campus and this rape culture. Any proof?
And proof I believe.
I believe all women is the proof.
And
proof is I believe all women.
And there was, she lost.
Believe all women. That's the proof. I'm a white male, and I was in a fraternity.
There's stains, there's blood. I'm sure if she wanted to call the FBI and make a big deal out of have her name and face painted everywhere, I'm sure
Okay.
Yet there isn't the existence of DNA proof.
Okay, so here's my point. We have to find some common ground and agree on some premises here. So, no proof there that you would be able to present that anyone has presented.
You may be going in the direction of assuming that she wasn't raped, and I would strongly advise you don't do that.
You may be going in this direction and doubting that all women are not truth tellers, and I would strongly advise you don't do that, or I'm gonna rub my arms right in your face. Don't make me start rubbing my arms. You don't want to go there. I'm gonna rub the shit out of my arms. I'm gonna smack the table again. Look at this.
You may be going in the direction of assuming that she wasn't raped, and I would strongly advise you don't do that.
Exactly.
I'll take it under advisement. But I do have proof that there's not a rape culture on campus.
You have proof there's no
Yeah,
rape
the statistic is not a 1 in 5 rape. According to the FBI, it's 1 in over 1,800.
Okay.
There's not a rape culture on campus in the United States. These rapes do not occur without consequence when there's proof presented. The constant is not men getting away with rape. I'm certainly not convinced of that. I'm not convinced by your account. It sounds like a harrowing account. I feel horrible that had occurred. So you think I feel good about that?
I don't say
but
you
my
feel
point
good.
is,
I say don't give a I'm saying
well, then
here.
listen.
Yeah, you think our word is good. Yeah. I strongly advise. Shut the
You can ascribe motive all you want, but I do have
controversial to get some laughs from some people, to put other people down.
He's gonna do a Martin Luther King speech right now.
Who came in and insulted somebody? Who came in here and insulted someone? The only person who's insulted anyone all day here, all day, is you. Okay. You came in cussing and yelling and swearing.
No, because I'm pissed.
I get it.
Serious.
This is serious. I'm a white male.
When you say there's no rape culture and you have a proof of that, you say you don't have the
I
statistics.
do have proof and there is no rape culture.
If you're a girl, you don't got to go out. You don't want to put out and say, hey, I was raped. You don't want to do that.
That's what he's probably gonna actually get some coochie from this fucking speech too.
You don't want to be raped if you're a girl.
Obviously, we were talking about the statistics.
No, but you said you don't want to go for
1 in 5%.
Yeah, there is no rape culture in the United States campus. I don't agree. And the statistics don't reflect that. So if you had proof.
What statistics are you reading?
The statistics of according to the FBI.
12% of women and 12% of men are raped on college campuses.
Incorrect.
This is the biggest research university, Columbia University statistics.
I would love.
Exactly.
Feel free to come and sit down when you have the microphone, and I would love to talk.
Even a professor is just yelling to interrupt.
Talk about that with you.
Look what they teach in college. This is why college is a scam. There's no even the professors are part of this liberal bullshit.
Now you see, this is why. This is not me being rude. Same thing. I gave Chanel. Sorry, Chanel. I apologize. See, she's not going to give me guff for it. She sees it was an easy mistake. I wanted her to have her opportunity to speak. I don't necessarily agree with her, but I would say with
Chad, this is the definition of a white knight.
Very respectful. You were cussing, yelling, coming in, a little bit emotional, and I want you to have your opportunity to speak as well. And so it's disrespectful for her to yell out. We're having a conversation between two people.
I disagree. This is not about cement. This is not about being like, we're not in a parliamentary system where you're not allowed to interrupt and shit like that. This is important.
You're actually allowed to interrupt in a parliamentary system. You're talking to someone who comes from Canada. We have a parliamentary system.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up, dude. Why don't you just crack open a Happy Dad?
Shut
up, dude.
Shut the fuck up with facts. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. There you go.
Get the fuck away from me, dude. Bro, this sucks. I hate this interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry my backpack and my vape and I'm out of here. I'm out of here, bro. Let's watch another one, part 2. I think it's the same day. Male privilege is a myth, 2nd edition. Changed my mind. Shout out to Steven Crowder.
It's been said you're kind of racist.
Your white opinion of racism.
You're a white male.
Doesn't
Racism
really. Your white opinion of racism doesn't really.
Your white opinion of racism. How do you not hear the irony in saying that? Like in 3 words.
I'm cool with it. That's a little bit racist. Latest installment of Real Conversations, Changed My Mind. The full unedited interview will be coming up soon. I know that's why you... 2, 3.
Jump with me. Rush with me. Oh, with me. Such fun.
Feel the burn. Jump with me. Man, this reeks of this is 2018.
And what are your names?
I'm Hannah.
Hannah?
Maryland.
Hannah and Maryland. Jared, how did you, am I good if I, okay. Hannah and Maryland. So, it's sort of become this neologism, this idea of male privilege, and I know we talk about it a lot on campus, and I've had some conversations with people on campus today. I don't agree with the premise, but I'm open to having my mind changed.
Okay, Maryland, go first. Well, male privilege is definitely a real thing.
Okay.
Our country
was
built by white males, and it was built for.
Who's gonna build it? You? You're gonna build the country? Look at you. You look like a 10-year-old boy.
For white males.
Mhm.
That's why women and any minority don't have an equal chance of being in politics. That's why most of our politicians are white males instead of representative of the actual population. That's why gerrymandering exists. That's why redlining exists. White privilege and white male privilege and male privilege is a real thing.
Okay, so I want to make sure.
Chat, do you think male privilege is a myth? I think females have all the privilege in the West, bro.
Have this clear. Do you agree with what?
Yeah,
Okay.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, sorry. So I'm trying to balance this with the both of you. Hope you forgive me if I'm not perfect. So, you believe that this country was founded by white males exclusively? For
I don't believe it was. I know it is.
Okay, you know it. Yeah. So, what would you use to substantiate that? A lot of white males obviously came here because Western civilization. People came from Europe. A lot of white males, but that it was founded exclusively for white males. That's what you said. Yeah. How do you?
Male-dominated society.
But that doesn't
society
imply that doesn't necessarily equate to design.
The Constitution originally didn't mention women or black people or anything or minorities or anything. It only
Whitey, champion for black people. Look at her black friend letting her fucking get away with that.
mentioned white.
And also look at the Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson fans in the back, bro. You look at his face, man.
It didn't specifically say white, but it said men. They didn't give any minorities the right to anything. We had to fight for that right.
Who's we?
The minorities, women had to, people of...
Cap! First off, Sydney from Ice Age, women are not minorities, they are the majority. 52% of the population, or 51. There's more women than men. Men die more. You're not a minority because you look like Sid. Stop trying to be a victim just because you're a woman.
Color had to, everyone...
Wow, that's incredibly accurate, chat. That's a crazy... I didn't say it, so the chat said it, I just looked it up.
Had to, except for white males.
I'm sorry, confused. So you're saying that the Constitution, first off, mentioned only white men. I would say
It didn't say white men, it said men.
Yeah, mankind, men. Yeah, this was
yes.
a term, again, this is just sort of a colloquialism, men. The rights were extended to women, you're aware, right?
They weren't extended.
Look at that, they're teaming up. Teaming up to save everybody from white males.
To women had to fight for their right.
No, women never had to fight for the freedom of speech or Second Amendment.
Well, what do you mean women didn't have to fight? What do you mean? Fight for these rights. They literally had marching. Women were hurt for this, like.
For the First Amendment and Second Amendment, women didn't have
the
right
to vote, for the right to not be treated as property.
Okay, so that's interesting that you bring up the right to vote. So you say we fought for it, everyone except for white men.
No, some white men did, but
Some
it was
white men.
mostly women.
So it was
and
mostly
honestly,
women and minorities.
It was mostly white women at first who didn't include black women.
Okay, so who do you believe procured the right for women to vote?
Women fighting for it.
Really?
Yeah, white men wouldn't have gave it to women if they didn't fight for it.
So you believe a majority of women fought, you believe were suffragettes?
No, actually, the majority of women didn't want to vote. They liked their system. It was just a couple dykes who fucking ruined it.
Fought for the right to vote.
I don't know if it was a majority, but I know women did, and we wouldn't have it if those women hadn't stood up for it.
Okay, well, because it seems like we're going through a historical timeline. Historically, that's actually not accurate. The majority of women...
Historically, that is accurate.
So women actually, the majority of women didn't want the right to vote. It was men who
I
gave them the
told
right
you
to vote.
I didn't know if it was the majority, but it wouldn't have happened if women haven't stood up in the suffragist movement and fought
Well, the
for
reason
it.
I bring that up is because you said women and minorities fought for that right, not white
Yes.
men. When the fact is women actually, as a majority, didn't fight for that right. Many of them fought against it. White men fought for that and were the ones who signed that into law.
Whoa, machine, I'm sorry, E.T. Phone to the feminists.
Because of women. They wouldn't have signed it into law if women hadn't made them sign it into law.
But they didn't. The majority of women didn't want it. That's my point. And the reason they didn't want it, by the way, we'll move on from this, was because of the fact that voting came with the draft, mandatory bucket duty responsibilities that were actually not bestowed upon women at that time, and they didn't want the right to vote.
Women don't want to go to war
because it would come with the same responsibilities. So women got the right to vote, but they didn't have to be a part of the draft or mandatory bucket duty, mandatory firefighting service. So historically, I'm just saying that's actually, it's not really accurate. It paints an inaccurate picture.
I know
which
there
I would
were
disagree.
women. There was an anti-suffragist movement. I know conservative women didn't want the right to vote, but it's because of women that they were given the right to vote. And of course, there's going to be people on each side, but there's going to be women who want to stay in the home. But the whole point of women fighting for it is so they have that choice to stay in the home or go out to vote, or go into the draft if they want to.
Well, I don't think respectfully, you fundamentally have a misunderstanding of the draft. It's
go into
not
war,
voluntary.
not the draft. I don't believe in drafting anyone at all. I don't believe you should fight for a
part
war
of
that
voting.
you shouldn't.
But at a time, it was a part of voting. That's my point. My only point here is you said it was a society designed by white men, exclusively for white men, and gave some examples which weren't accurate. So let me bring us to today. What rights are afforded in 2018 to men exclusively that aren't afforded to women? And I would like both of you to answer, because I don't want you to just sit there and feel like I don't want to cut you out of this.
No, I think Marilyn's explaining it really well. I just don't think you're understanding her side and how she's saying that it was a two-sided thing. So there are women who want to stay at home and live that life, and there are women who wanted the right to vote, to have their voice heard and their representation.
Sure.
And I think you want to focus on the conservative side that want to stay at home, and she's trying to say,
no, not at
well,
all.
they got the option to stay at home because other women.
Yeah, and then you know what women do? They shame you if you want to stay at home. They say that you're part of the problem, but it's like, oh, I just want to make some cookies and raise some kids and have a nice family. Do I need to always be protesting and going to war? I'd rather just stay home. This was great.
We're fighting for their right to vote.
No, that's not what I was presenting from my side at all.
Yes, it was.
No, let me clarify one more time then, okay? And I want to make it really clear, not only for you, but for anyone watching. You said this was a society created by white men, exclusively for white men. And women and minorities had to fight for these rights, and you use examples as vote.
Lizzo's not even here. She's just here to be like the token, like, look, I have a black friend, and she's just going to be quiet the whole time.
Voting, and white men didn't. What I am pointing out is that is inaccurate. White men did. Most women didn't want it. So that's a false premise that paints a false. It's a false baseline for today. Because if you say at one point, now I think women should have the right to vote. I'm very glad that we all do. Okay, we can agree on that. What I can't agree with is something that is historically inaccurate. So I'd like to find something we agree on today. What rights today in 2018 are afforded to men that are not afforded to women? I don't believe that there's systemic male privilege today. I'm not saying
there's not. Men, we delete ourselves like 5 times more. We're more of the homicide victims. We make up almost all of the prisoners. We lose all of our money, all of our assets, and our children in divorce court. Women live longer. The only thing that women really have to say, the wage gap is a fucking myth. All they got is catcalling. Men do not have privilege.
I could be wrong. I don't believe it though. And I would like to be convinced, or I'm certainly open to being convinced.
I feel your male privilege is a myth. I feel like
your privilege is like a clouding. Say something. How long do you need a load to say some nonsense?
Only white men have that male privilege.
Okay, this is about male privilege, and now is it about white men, or your friend is white? So like, what are y'all talking about?
And that's what the focus should be on.
Okay, so
that wasn't the question though, but that's all she knows how to talk about.
No black male privilege.
No.
Okay. We have some black men actually in the audience. Maybe they can come in afterwards. I would be interested to hear their perspective. So white male privilege.
Yes.
Okay. So what systemic white male privilege exists today? What rights are afforded, for example, to white males that are not afforded to black males, or to white males not afforded to black females? Let's divide everyone by race and gender at this point.
In regards to like laws and things like that, obviously the laws aren't like, oh, white men get this privilege and blah, 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 blah. So in regards,
I said a smart word?
To like technical terms, it's
to technical society?
As like men, it's laid out by laws really equally. When it comes to the actual systems, there's tons of black men crowding jails for an eighth of weed while...
This is just the only talking point she knows. See, this wasn't about that at all, but that's all she knows how to talk about. So she's just shifting the whole conversation so that she could add a point.
You know, white men have like weed parties and it's cool and that's their thing, but like black men are automatically arrested for it. So that goes into the whole...
What the hell does that have to do with male privilege? This has nothing to do with male privilege. What happens when you go to college, you go to a bunch of fucking woke meetings, you just say this bullshit in a conversation that had nothing to do with it.
Like police brutality argument, but...
So can I ask you that? I've never heard of a weed party.
You see all the Nelk fans right here? Yeah, I can't believe they deleted Steve Will Do It's channel. Fuck YouTube.
You can ask one of them. Oh yeah, you can ask.
You mean one of the white males?
Probably.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's okay. We'll have someone come in afterwards and they can explain to me a weed party. So, no, genuinely, this is not me being a smart.
Kind of parties fraternity brothers throw.
I'm sure they do, but the premise was the idea, right, that black men are in prison for an eighth of weed. Do you have any statistical data to prove that black men with nothing more than an eighth of weed go to prison?
I couldn't give you the exact statistics, but there's several accounts of it, and it's not unknown. It's pretty much common sense that blacks are way easily more arrested than white men.
Well, apparently it's also been common sense that the majority of women were pushing for the right to vote and that white men didn't support them. So we're trying to deconstruct some of these ideas that people maybe assume are common sense but are factually inaccurate. Now, the truth is men...
Look at her Googling facts in the middle of the convo.
...as a whole are much more likely to be incarcerated than women. Okay. Men as a whole...
Yes, the conversation has nothing to do with race, but...
Even white men... get far more harsh sentencing for the same crime as women.
White men are shooting up schools, so I think they should have a harsher punishment.
Well, hold on.
Okay, see that, like, she's like, yeah, racism is bad, but I'm gonna say something racist. Like, yeah, it's true what she said, but also don't go on your high horse about racism and then say a racist generalization.
A second. I mean, black...
You know, you give away that right. You give away the opportunity to be racist when you're on your high ground about racism in the first place. Stupid.
Black... Hold on, but... Hold on a second, but black men are shooting each other in record numbers as well. That's not really relevant to the point.
You were asking for the facts, and they're right here.
Let me see. Okay, so hold on one second.
Ugh, they're smart. Yeah, you asked for the facts, and here's the facts right here. I heard this beer has a little more hops to it.
From the NAACP, you said for an eighth of... I want to make sure we're really clear here. You said white men are having weed parties and a black man with an eighth of weed will be incarcerated in a federal prison. So what I have here is your source from the NAACP. From the NAACP, in 2014, African Americans constituted 2.3 million or 34%, 64% of the correctional population. Okay, African Americans are incarcerated at more than 5 times the rate of whites. Now, nothing here at all involves behaviors or crimes committed. I'm trying to look for anything in here
but here's the facts. Haha, here's my phone that has info.
That relates to black people being sentenced simply for an eighth of weed. So this is from the NAACP. That would be as biased of a source as you could use. But I don't see it. I don't see it. Show me, give me, I would like to see, I would be very open to hearing the statistical reality. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I would like to hear that stat. I think it's horrible. I don't think anyone should...
Now she's gonna Google for the next 10 minutes instead of engaging in the conversation.
...be arrested for an eighth of weed or put in jail. I think we can agree on that, right?
No, I agree.
Whether they're white or black.
Yeah.
I don't think white people should be shooting up schools, whether they're white or black.
Yeah. Well, I definitely agree.
Obviously, welcome to listen to whatever's happening over here. You should do that. But we're going to have a conversation over here about campus climate, sexual assault, and...
What are you...
Just interrupt so that you could just ruin the dialogue.
I'm just saying that we're going to be over here.
Shut up, male feminist. Yeah, we're going to be over here, where it's a safe space, and we're going to say the stuff that you already agree with.
Great, thank you. I'll come over and talk with you guys, too.
This is where it counts.
Okay, so let's assume that will... And sorry, I hope you're still comfortable. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable.
No, it's fine.
I feel this has been respectful, and you've been very polite. So again, the systemic differences we're talking about, men, period, are more likely to be incarcerated than women.
Yeah.
Men are more likely to be physically assaulted than women. So we're getting into this. First off, this is data. But when we get into the anecdotal that, well, white men tend to have it better because they can walk around and have weed parties, that's not necessarily accurate. So particularly when we're discussing an issue as sensitive.
That's just a talking point that she read on Twitter, like, white males just go to weed parties, but 1 in 3, you're just saying tweets. Haven't you heard that before? Even at 28, like, this is just echoing shit that she read online. But she's gonna sit there and be smug the rest of the time, and Chicken Little's gonna look at her phone, and they're not even gonna listen to the conversation. They don't want to change their mind.
As race, gender, and systemic oppression or inequalities. Don't you think it's really important that we get that correct and the premise correct before we go off and divide people by these subcategories?
Yeah, but I think there's tons of statistics out there already, and even if you don't want to look up the statistics, it's not hard to see how many black men are in jail at larger rates than white men.
Do black men commit crimes at a higher rate than men?
Definitely not. That's
No.
just not true.
No?
No.
That is true, but they're also in worse circumstances to commit crimes than white people.
No, so black men do not commit crimes at a higher rate than white males?
No.
Okay. Do you have statistics that would reflect that?
I mean, I'm sure I could look them up, but it's definitely not true. It's because racism is built into the system. That's what the system is built against blacks, and that's what racism is. That's why there are more blacks in prison.
Okay. Well, it seems like we've gotten away from male privilege, now we've gotten to black-white. But I'll go with that if you'd like to. And I don't disagree that there have been horrible instances of racism in this country, including, by the way, in Canada and, of course, in Europe, the British Empire. And by the way, I hope you understand I'm certainly not a slavery or racism apologist. I think that's bad. I think racism is bad. But you just mentioned that, well, someone else...
I don't think so. You must be a racist, you white male.
Also, just earlier was saying that I was okay with rape, which I'm not, simply because I believe there needs to be proof for rape. So I think racism is...
Believe all women. Wrong.
Bad. If we can all agree that racism is bad, you say the systems are racist and set up. Okay. What systematic racism do we have today, then, in that case?
The system...
Dodge the question.
The system is built against...
Just say the same thing you said 5 times already.
Well, it all goes back to slavery. Colored people of color, sorry, have never been...
Careful!
Oh, whoa! Colored people! McLovin! I thought you were an ally! I thought you had a black friend! Colored people's crazy!
Careful, colored people, it's people of color. One's racist, one's okay now.
Yes, people of color is the correct term. People of color have never...
Lacist in the chat, bro. Man, Lickin' Little.
Been given an equal opportunity. They've never been given the equal opportunity for jobs because after racism was abolished.
After racism was abolished?
Came segregation and then Jim Crow and separate but equal. So
she just came straight from Diversity Club, straight from Woke Debate Club, and just came right into this interview.
People of color have never been given the same opportunity as white people, which is why it's been built into the system.
In 2018, do you believe that's true?
Yes, it's still.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a question? Did you go to TCU?
Yes.
At TCU, do you know if there is any affirmative action, for example, grants exclusively given to people of African American heritage?
I'm not sure if we have in place affirmative action, but I know we do have the chancellor's, what is it called?
The community scholars?
Community scholars, yeah, which is put in place to help get minorities into college.
Right. So so there are grants and scholarships. I think we would agree across this country for minorities. Yeah.
And those wouldn't have to exist if it wasn't the system.
Chad, I had scholarships to school because I'm like 5 minorities in one. I definitely had an easier time because I'm this blend of whatever. I could check off 6 boxes. No, I had some advantages being a minority today. And I also think that white people aren't able to accurately voice their opinion now because they're so quickly labeled as a racist. I could say the same shit that this guy's saying, but they'll immediately just assume he's racist. But hey, I'm every race. You can't call me racist. I can bob and weave so many allegations, man. That's why they call me an incel.
No.
But will we not say that's...
Equal, then those scholarships
affirmative action is racist, chat. That's a racist act.
Exist, which is why we have to have those scholarships.
So I just want to make sure that I understand these scholarships correctly because I don't attend the school. So these are, you said it's the community grant for is that what it's called?
Community Scholar.
Community Scholar, and this is exclusively for minorities to try and get them on campus.
Exclusively for minorities. There is.
It's majority minorities, but you can be any race and get this scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something specifically to the school.
Yeah.
Mostly if you come from a low.
Chat, by the way, you should clip this up. This is going to definitely go viral on TikTok. And if you want to learn how to do it, Creator Kit just dropped. Link in description. Stop just scrolling. We could start monetizing this shit too. It was taken down yesterday by haters, but it's back up. This course will teach you everything about it. This is all I know how to do. It's good information in here. I finally released it. It was a lot of work, but yeah. Link in description. Creator Kit. I'm fucking with it. TheCreativityKit.com.
Lower economic standpoint.
From a lower economic standpoint. Okay. Are there or are there not grants, for example, or laws in place, we know affirmative action, that would be granted exclusively toward minorities? It seems in this case this one may not, but are you aware that those exist on campus?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say minority, that would be excluding people who are not minorities for this grant or scholarship, correct?
Yes.
Is that discriminatory?
No, because it's fighting against the system of racism.
Well, I'm not asking about the system of racism. I'm asking is, by definition, is that discriminating against groups of people for this grant?
No.
Yes. That's exactly what affirmative action is.
What is the definition of the word discrimination?
You can only discriminate against colored people. I mean, Negroes. I mean.
Okay. I would venture would be something along the lines of discerning or excluding certain parameters or qualities from a given opportunity.
Or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people or things, especially on the grounds of race, age, or sex.
Okay.
Exactly. But white people can't even speak their mind anymore. White people in the chat, type a 1 right now if you feel like you can't properly voice your opinion because they'll immediately call you alt-right. Immediately. You can't even be a conservative white dude. Immediately you're a Trump supporter, you're racist, you're a Nazi. It sucks. It sucks, but yo, the amount of privilege I have just being a fucking blend, whatever the fuck, it's great, bro. It's great.
So excluding people based on race.
It says unjust or prejudicial.
This is from Merriam-Webster.
It's from...
I told you she was just gonna be Googling the whole time.
Okay.
Look how many ones there are in the chat, bro. White people don't really have the same freedom of speech. It sucks, bro. It is what it is. But there's a reason I can be so all these streams every day because it's harder to cancel me.
Here, I appreciate it. So the point is there's discrimination occurring there. Is there anything like that for white students?
Unjust. That's not unjust because it's making it equal for minorities.
It's making it equal?
Yes, because they don't have an equal chance in our society.
In our society! But I look like McLovin and I'm a white girl championing for colored people. Shut up. I don't want you. I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to help me out. Go get a fake ID.
I have an equal chance to get to TCU.
What do you think? We're trying to explain to you right now. What have we been talking about this whole time?
That's the whole point of her silent ass Lizzo friend right here. She hasn't said nothing. She's just there to be like, look, I have a black friend, so I can champion for coloreds.
I'm looking at several black people here who've made it to TCU.
Several black people? I'm looking at a sea of white. I don't know what you're looking at.
I guess you're a figment of our imagination. Well, hold on a second. Sorry, you're Asian, so I guess you don't count because there are too many of you.
That is a sea of white faces, though. This is Nelk Boy's target demographic right here.
You on campus.
Every single person here has a full send poster in the room. Saturdays are for the boys!
I'm saying I'm looking at there's a guy biracial right here. No, listen, there have been people coming in and out. The point is, many of these people disagree. They believe they can get into to school. They don't believe there's systemic discrimination.
More white people that can get in, so there's more white people.
There are more white people in this area of town, and we've gotten away from male privilege. We talked about white privilege versus black privilege. Is now what we're talking about. Or people of color. It's people of color. Is that the term you prefer?
Sure.
Well, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, white guy, whatever. Yeah.
I know some people prefer black, some people prefer people of color. I would like to go back to the idea of male privilege. I still haven't heard a right afforded, or same thing with race. I still haven't heard a right
who does she look like?
Afforded to someone who is a white male not afforded to, say, a black female. I think that's pivotal if we're going to talk about systemic discrimination. Sorry, my knee touched you. I apologize. I meant nothing by it. I just have wide legs. But we don't agree that that's...
KOD said, what do you honestly think is the end goal of woke people is? Or is it just too much of a bot thing to even think ahead? They just like, they like feeling right. It's just a moral goodness thing. It's like, I'm right and I'm better and I'm fighting against the system. But they don't realize how dumb they are. The system is telling them to think this stupid shit. So look at how they sit here with their smug faces on, saying stuff that they're told is correct. And they don't want to challenge it. They just like feeling right. That's what woke people are. It's, you're on the wrong side of history, white man.
Pivotal for going to say there is systemic discrimination that needs to be rectified.
And chat, stop saying it's a scam. It's a one-time payment. Everything nowadays, the Creativity Kit, creativitykit.com, thecreativitykit.com is a one-time payment, and you'll learn everything about how to go viral on TikTok, bro. I don't even have a TikTok account. I got 1.2 billion views, 1.4 billion views on hashtag Seco. I just hit 1 million followers today on TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. I'll teach you how to do it. Teach you how to make money off of it. Stop scrolling and start monetizing, man.
We would need to be able to find in 2018 at least one example of systemic discrimination.
Okay. How many of our presidents have been white and male?
The last one was black.
One.
Yeah.
Out of 45. 1 out of 45.
And I would argue he was terrible.
I would.
I mean,
I would definitely not argue that. I'd argue Obama was one of our best presidents.
Okay.
Why was Obama one of our best presidents, though?
That's fine. And isn't it wonderful? You can have that opinion, right? You can have that opinion, and I can have my opinion, but wouldn't that be proof that there are no more barriers to entry if a black man made it to the highest office in the land?
There's a study by, I forget what his name is.
Relax.
Does she seem nervous? Is that
No, him. He needs to relax.
Oh, he needs to relax. What did he do?
I mean, she's trying to get her point across. He just needs to let her say it.
W. Dunno.
And it'll be fine.
There's lots of countries where they elected one minority president and then went all the way back to electing all white presidents. They say they're
Careful, because you're treading on some ground that could make you sound very racist here, and I don't think you're aware of it.
Maryland's not going to come across racist.
Aha! Look at her. I'm the token black friend. She's good. She's one of the good ones. That's her only purpose here. Like, look, vouch.
Some of what's been said here kind of racist.
Your white opinion of
some of what's been said here kind of racist.
Your white opinion of racism doesn't really compare.
Your white opinion of racism doesn't matter. How does she not hear how dumb that is? How are you racist while accusing someone of being racist?
That's kind of, that's a little, I'm cool with it. That's a little bit racist.
Okay, I just want to get out here that reverse racism isn't real. I know you're all going to yell at me.
No, listen, I would never use the word reverse
racism is stupid. That just means racism against white people. Like, oh, you can't be racist to white people. You absolutely can. That's the definition of racism, bro.
Saying your white opinion racism doesn't matter is not reverse racism at all.
No, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just, it doesn't compare.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So it's better or worse? What are you trying to say?
How so?
These dumbass people will just try to use racism to fight racism. How dumb is that? You're never going to come to a conclusion. That's what I'm saying. The donor before, they don't want equality. They just want a power trip.
Like, you're trying to tell her what she's saying is racist. That's
no, I said it could come across racist saying they never vote in another black president again. How people don't ever vote back. You know, that could come across as racist.
How?
Because of such a poor performance from a black president would be the implication.
But his poor performance is like your opinion.
Exactly, it is my opinion. And it was the opinion of many, many millions of Americans who voted in an old white guy, unfortunately, over a woman. Sorry, maybe we'll have a female president next go around. I'd gladly vote for a female president. I actually was a Carly Fiorina guy. I really liked her. I think she would have made a fantastic
Thanks, Mikey.
But I do find it interesting right here where you just said that...
No, Carly Fiorina would have been a terrible president.
Your white opinion isn't comparable. I don't... The word comparable is interesting to me. Why would you use that choice of words?
Because what is your understanding of racism in comparison to somebody who's a person of color?
I'm a victim.
We're both human beings with opinions on an issue.
Yeah, but you play into the system and we're trying to fight against it. So
Oh, come on. You're just sitting there with the white girl saying that you're trying to fight the system. What the fuck are you talking about?
How would you know that I play into this? How do I play into the system?
you're a conservative Republican. Like, you
You don't know anything about me.
You're sitting here saying that male privilege is a myth,
Yeah.
and that rape culture isn't a problem on U.S. campuses.
And so you just said I am a part of a system which you just declared racist. You said I'm an active part in a racist system. That's
You're part of the problem, white man.
That's a really terrible thing to say about somebody.
Well, is it
true.
untrue?
Yes.
No.
Then prove it.
Well, you want to prove? Okay, you want to disprove your prejudicial statement based on my race? Let me give you my best shot. I'm actually a French Canadian, or an English Canadian who was raised in French Canada. Are you aware of the language police?
No.
Okay, so let me talk to you about a little bit about discrimination. We're actually not allowed to attend English schools. We're not allowed to open a restaurant with an English sign if there's an apostrophe S. They thought I was disabled until the 4th grade because I was forced to go to French schools and learn math, geography, and history in French by law, because if you are born in Quebec, you have to attend French schools. This comes from a theory they call pure laine, which means pure wool.
Yo, he was ready for that answer right there, guy. Woo!
Pure European French blood wool. And so this is actually something that's enforced by the language police. Where I grew up, they thought I was learning disabled as an English Canadian, being forced to go to public Catholic schools at a Protestant English-speaking Canadian, and they thought I was learning disabled until the 4th grade. I lived in an 82 Datsun for several months.
He said all of that shit, and she's still not going to change her opinion, and this goofy McLovin girl still on her phone looking up stats.
As I tried to make something of myself and dropped out of college and moved to the United States when I was 18 years old. So I certainly wouldn't say that I'm someone who's been raised in the lap of white American Republican privilege. By the way, there are no Republicans in Quebec. There are only liberals and liberal separatists.
None of what you said had to do with racism or anything.
It had to do with discrimination, with prejudice.
Okay.
I would say there's an English-speaking...
But you're still a white man in this society, so you're good. Your privilege is safe.
I would say this, and you're not going to like this, but I would say a white male, regardless of white, male, black, I would say white-speaking English Canadian being raised in French Canada, yes, would face much more systemic oppression than you here on college campus.
Really? So it's easier being you, a white person in America, than me, a white person? Half-white person in America.
You're a half-white person in America? No, I was talking about my upbringing because you said you're playing into the system. You're a white male conservative Republican.
Yeah, I don't care about
What if
the
I
background.
what if I were a white...
What? You don't care about your background? You just labeled him with the background.
Male Democrat.
Look at this bitch in the back like, what the fuck is this? What is she talking about? But nowadays, like, she can have all the opinion. Everybody will just sit there and listen on a college campus because she's like half black, the token minority, while everyone else is part of the problem. And she's going to walk around like, look at these white privilege, white privilege, white privilege.
Right. What if I were a
Then I would hope
transgender
that you would
Democrat?
be fighting the system.
What system?
And trying to
We said
change
the
it.
what system?
The systematic racism
What
in
systematic
America.
racism? I just need one example of systematic
Police brutality.
Okay, police brutality. No, listen, ignore them. We're just having a conversation. And the peanut gallery doesn't matter. Okay, it's okay. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not being disrespectful.
No, I
don't
get it.
associate me with them. I'm just saying I want to just keep it here so that it's not fair if there's a pile on, and I want everyone to take their turn. So I appreciate it. Police brutality. That's interesting. Again, with the sign is about male privilege, but you seem to really focus on the race issue. So let's talk about police brutality. How is that? So the example of the system that you say I play into here proactively in America, police brutality is an example of systemic discrimination, white male privilege.
Yes.
How so?
Because black men are killed at traffic stops, black women included. I mean, there are unjust killings in jail that mysteriously, these men kill.
She has a GoFundMe link in her bio for Black Lives Matter and doesn't realize that all the money's going to a white dude. She's one of those.
Young black men and then walk free. Like, your life and your privilege is fine, but black people are dying.
So you believe that it's okay, it's legal to kill an innocent black male and it's happening in record numbers
Yes.
because we're white?
Not because you're white, but because the system is racist.
What if I were to tell you that statistically that's untrue?
Then I would want to know the statistic.
Yeah, what if I tell you that actually white males are more likely to be shot by police?
Okay, why wasn't the Florida shooter shot dead then?
Well, we're getting into the anecdotal.
Okay.
So statistically, empirical data would say that actually white males are more likely to be shot by the police.
Okay. But I just completely disagree
Yeah, but that's kind of weird because there's way more white guys than black guys.
with that, and I don't know where your statistic is coming from.
Okay. Well, I think we have some other people who would like to discuss, but if you disagree with the statistics,
Why is she still on her fucking... Get off your phone, Sid from Ice Age. You've been bending over your head looking at stats, not listening to the convo the whole time.
We have them up on the website. I think it's horrible if anyone is shot, an innocent person shot by the police.
No,
I think we
totally.
use better training with a lot of police officers. De-escalation,
Absolutely.
I think that should be used with white or black people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one thing, if I may, because, sorry, did I step on your foot?
No, you're fine.
Oh, there's a walnut here. One thing, if I may, if the goal is to have a conversation, I really do want to have a conversation, I've tried to be respectful. Just as I'm sure you would probably be more defensive or less capable of having a civil dialogue with someone if they said, well, you can't possibly understand because you're a black woman, you don't know anything about this. I'm sure right away you might say, well, hold on, what do you mean by that? Coming into a conversation with someone where you don't have empirical data or evidence. I presented some, you've disagreed with some.
She just said tweets the whole time.
You haven't presented much of your own. But saying that someone's opinion simply isn't comparable.
Chat, stop putting wells! She's a queen!
Because they're a white male, A, is not a valid argument. I hope that's not one that's taught as okay in college, and it's also not something that's going to convert anyone to your way of thinking. You know, the idea is to change my mind. I will tell you, I appreciate you sitting down and doing it, but that is probably the least effective way to enter a conversation if you're looking to change someone's mind, to say you're wrong or you don't know because you're a white male. So I would hope that moving forward that maybe you might reconsider your tact, because you seem like you seem very much like a nice lady. I don't think you're aware of that, but it shuts down dialogue before it begins as opposed to encouraging it.
Well, that's all they want to do, is just shut down the dialogue. They're not open to free speech. The leftists and woke people are just the least tolerant group of people I've ever heard before. They just want to sit there, be right, shame you, shut it down, and they're happy if you get hurt. They don't want to hear another side. They think they're so right internally. They're so vindicated by their moral... that, bro, they don't even know how to have open dialogue, bro. Freedom of speech is dead.
I think, I'm not going to say what she was trying to say, but I'm going to say I think what she was trying to say is you don't understand what it is like to be oppressed because you are...
You're a white... You're going to... They talk about oppression, white girl. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna talk for fucking minorities because you have a black friend, a half black friend? Shut up.
White males are not oppressed.
Yeah.
Yes, they are actually. Yeah, they are. White men are like probably the saddest group in America right now.
First off, I'd like her to explain her position.
No,
you don't
I
need to
agree
explain
exactly
it for
with
her.
what Marilyn said.
It seems a little like, what do we call it, white-splaining?
I told her, I said I think this is what she was trying to say. That's why I didn't say I think this is what she said.
But do you not believe that she can articulate? I don't want her to feel as though she's being misrepresented. I'd
I
like her to
don't.
articulate her own thoughts.
I feel totally fine. I agree with what Marilyn said, and that was what I was saying.
Let me ask you this.
The team.
Because we've talked about data, we've talked about the facts, which you said you don't have in front of you, but let's not take my word for it. So you just said...
Chat, she's brave. Stop putting burgers in whales. She's brave.
White men can't know what it's like to be oppressed. Do you believe that as an emphatic, factual statement, that there are no white men in this country who could know what it's like to be oppressed, or maybe haven't had some hard breaks?
They've had hard times, but they're definitely not oppressed.
Okay. That's fair. I appreciate it.
And she will never change her mind. Look at that smug look on her face. Meow. Meow.
I would disagree. I think everyone has privilege in different facets. And I think on campus, I think women, people of minority people have privilege that the average white male here probably doesn't.
What privileges do we have that they don't?
Scholarships, grants, the ability to shout people down, tell them they don't have a right to an opinion. Because
freedom of speech. That's one thing they got.
Because they're a white male.
We got, yeah, I got freedom of speech. White people don't.
I would never even dream of telling either of you that your opinion isn't valid because you're a woman, you're black. No, that's not.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Exactly. There you go. There you go. Stop talking. Stop talking. But she wouldn't say that shit to me because I could just be like, shut up, white bitch. Shut the fuck up. Whitey, you got privilege. She'd be like, well, I'm sorry, I'm part of the problem. But she feels totally comfortable saying, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking, because he's a white guy.
Not allowed. You're not allowed to tell me to stop talking. Sorry. If I were to do that, you'd say that that's white male privilege. So I appreciate it. The conversation is kind of over. It's not going anywhere. Thank you. It's over. Thank you.
How are we given scholarships scholarships that all these other people didn't have the right to get. We earned that. We were in the top of our class. That's how we earned those scholarships. We were smart. We were smarter than them. That's how we earned them.
Well, then what? Then let's just great. I think everyone on here is on board with scholarships for the smartest people in any class, male, female, black, or white. I don't think race or sex should even come into the equation. So good, we agree. We found common ground. Thank you very much. Now, like you said, she just sort of, I guess, claimed the mantle of. Was not something that we had in my mind. Let me. You know what? Could you sit down for a second? Sure.
Hey, token black guy. One black dude here. Diversity in the house, bro.
Token black guy.
This is what like everyone here right now when they talk about slavery, they do this. So slavery in class, and then just like the one black dude sitting there. Oh shit. Fuck. All the white people. Tyrone, do you want to speak about your experience with racism? Oh fuck. Oh god. Oh my god. Look at that. This is the worst situation to be in.
I'm joking.
Only Nelk Boys fans around.
What's your name, man? Sean. All right, Sean. So Sean, I find this. Do you agree with what was just stated there as a black male? No. Okay, you didn't even have to think about it. With what part do you disagree?
Well, first off, the statistics about like black crime and police brutality overly affecting black males. I mean, we have to look at crime statistics. So yes, black males are overrepresented in prisons, but black males are also overrepresented in crime statistics. So black males are like what, like was it like 6% of the 6 or 7% of the population?
Right.
Chad, who does he look like?
6% of the population, because black females are 7% of the population.
I think as total it's somewhere around 13.
Yeah, total is 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you take all that into account, then you have to consider, okay, so why are they overrepresented in crime? And the reason why, I mean, in my opinion, it's a lot of it is economic, a lot of it is cultural, a lot of it is the opportunities available in their areas. And people can make the argument that it's because of white oppression. I don't necessarily think it's because of white oppression. I think it has a lot to do with the welfare state. I think it has a lot to do.
Well, the welfare state is because of white oppression. Like Steven Crowder's taken the side. Like there's definitely a lot of inequality that happened still as a result of slavery that he's not trying to point out. And the fact that he doesn't think that there is white privilege. There is white privilege.
Do with democratic policy.
WL chat. I'm jacking this. There's very clear white privilege.
And liberal policies, pushing agendas upon black people instead of giving them agency and allowing them to make their own decisions.
She left. I was hoping that she would actually hear what you have to say here. Let me ask you, do you attend TCU?
I do.
How did you get in?
I spent 9 years in the Air Force and got a scholarship, 4-hour scholarship.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. And what are you studying?
Psychology and philosophy, so I'm actually on the
psychology on the liberal arts side, yeah. Well, listen, if you make less than a civil engineer, don't blame it on a white-black thing. You chose a degree that's kind of rough.
I just want to enjoy my career, whatever it is.
There you go. Well, listen, that sounds like something that would be, especially after 8 years in the Air Force?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah. Jeez. Sorry, look, someone's like, 9. Yeah. Get it right.
He already won the crowd over, bro. He's not going to say anything wrong now.
So you were in the Air Force, this is what got your scholarship. Do you believe that your path was more difficult to TCU exclusively because of your race?
No, I don't think it's because of my race. I think it's because, I was raised by a single mother. My dad left when I was really young.
Sorry.
My mom had to work really hard to, just get me through school. I made really poor decisions early on in life, and the military is really the only way I could go. And honestly, I learned a lot in the military. I got a lot of, I learned responsibility. I learned taking responsibility for my own actions, and I learned agency.
I'm just one dirty motherfucker. I play myself in more than you into what Apple rub myself into with codeine in my.
And taking pride in myself.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hard. Yeah.
How do you feel about? I'm not exactly.
Wow, he looks exactly like Isaiah Rashad, bro. Exactly.
I'm not totally aware of the scholarship specifically to TCU, but I think everyone is well aware of, and we can agree that there are scholarships obviously afforded exclusively to minorities or women not afforded to, say, the white male. Yeah. How do you feel about that as a black man? Do you think that helps?
No. Actually, we were just talking.
As a black man.
About this. Actually, I was.
With the Asian, you can't talk with him. They're over. They'd be dominating every math and science department there is.
So I just came from California.
Well, Chad, you know that now Harvard and schools like that specifically make it harder for Asians to get in because there's just too many Asians. Asians are dominating in math so much. They're like, oh my God, there's too many Kevins. Kevin's got to go. We got to let some other people in. Like they give the standards lower for other races because Asians, they just come in straight from China. fresh off the boat and just dominate and just kill everybody on the SATs. Like, there's just too many Kevin Lees in here, man.
The Bay Area.
Got to build a wall around their neighborhood just so we can keep some people getting degrees, for crying out loud.
Now he's doing stand-up. This is not even a convo.
Asian privilege.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just came from the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, and I mean, you see there.
Yeah, I just came from Silicon Valley, and I'm the token black guy. But yeah, I just was like surfing and just went to the Air Force and just like, dude, you just got to just do it.
Like, Asian prosperity is huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're doing really well, and like, good on them. And I think, like, honestly, if the black culture adopted a lot of those tenets of like Asian culture and like, hey, suck it up. Like, go out there and get it and do it yourself.
Just go out there and get it. It's just like, I'm from the Bay, and just like, but now I'm like the only black guy here. But really, it's just like, I don't really see color at the end of the day. Just like chill with my boys. I just like to have a couple beers, and you know, I don't really just like to look at that because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just how we all are.
And like, it was interesting. Like, a lot of rappers supported Trump, and they said the reason why is because they said, you know, that's what Trump is about. He's like, go out there and get it, make your money, do what you have to do to make your money.
Right.
And I think like that's, you know, people talk about that, but they don't really go out and do it. And like, there's not a lot of talk about different ways.
No, they don't really just go out and just go do it, but you just got to go do it.
And diversifying your means of income.
Yeah.
There are a lot of opportunities out there if you just go out there and look for them and get it. And honestly, like, people are willing to give black people opportunities.
Well, I'm sure, here's the deal. I understand that there are racists out there.
Oh, yeah,
and I think it's kind of like, you know, a child who just misbehaves so often, you have to discipline them. You kind of see this with the left. Like, if a child behaves well, okay, you don't have to correct them all the time. But when the left constantly just divides by race and by gender, then you have to bounce back and say, well, hold on a second, no, that's actually inaccurate. The truth is, it kind of bars us, it robs us of our ability to be empathetic to someone saying, yeah, you know what, I'm sure you get some tough breaks as a black guy, because we're constantly being told you can't understand and you've gotten everything because you're a white guy. I think it actually burns more bridges than it builds.
Yeah, I agree.
He sounds like Drewski's impression of a white guy.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
No, like, I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, what do you think Asians think when they're saying you're too much? They're actually that, you know, they only allot a certain amount of Asians into certain programs. I'm sure you're aware of this.
I punished 3 to 5 ACT points, you know, 0.5 GPA going into college. Like, I applied to USC. Me and my friend did.
That dude blinking hard as fuck.
He's African American, I'm white. He's Asian. We basically had the same exact demographic.
Because I was taking like the SATs, and it's not really just fair because
you forgot.
I grew up in white America, and I had a 32 and a 4.5, and he had a 27 and like a 3.8. He got it, and I didn't get in. And we had basically the exact same everything else, just because he was African American and I was Asian, and I got penalized because of my privilege, because I was overrepresented academic scholarships.
Yeah, well, you know what? Actually, here, if you want to come up, no, you can stay here.
Hey, another token minority, pull up.
Well, let's get
all the minorities in here. Look, I'm not racist.
Buddy cop, like a buddy cop film.
Yo, W Rush Hour.
What was your name, sir? David, sir, my hands are freezing. Hold on, the lips aren't blue.
These two guys make me no homo. Sorry about that.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that about your ACT scores and how your friend who was African American got in and you didn't. This is one thing that I've always, and I'm glad we finally, look, we can bridge this racial divide. It's like the black and white cookie, Seinfeld. When you think about that, right, they start locking Asians out because you guys do very, very well academically. Yeah. What do you think that does to the relationship between Asian Americans and black Americans? That's always a concern of mine. I mean, the same thing with white Americans, but particularly, listen, I grew up in Canada, and
that's me, Young Don, and Luke Belmar.
I'm not gonna lie, a lot of Asians behind closed doors, little bit racist in Canada. I'm sure there's some of that here too. It seems like it would strain relationships, not really bring people together.
Yeah, I know that, like, because like the Asian culture is very academics first, like academics averages, like with the whole shaming your family kind of like concept you see with like white culture,
right?
Like white media, like they talk about, why you're not doctor yet, that comes kind of like stuff.
Yeah, actually, all three of them make me. I forgot I'm part white too.
Which is actually can be very true. So like, cause like, and I know the African American, especially in the inner cities, like, academic excellence achievement is very shunned upon, especially with like the gangs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that creates a big divide, especially on like the end.
Imagine
like,
this is like just combine these 3 heads and that's how you get me, chat. You think I'm Mexican? No. Look, can't you see it? Can't you see these 3 combining to make no homo? But that's me.
Ethnic, like for sure, like the top 4 ethnic groups in America, like the top earners are all Asians, Indians, like Japanese, Thai.
Yeah.
And the bottom tiers are African Americans and Hispanics. And I think it's just it's not because of the systematic racism in America. I think it's all culture. Well, like he said, like his dad left him. Really sorry about that. But like the African American single motherhood rate during a civil rights movement was what, like 13-50%, depending on the city, whereas now it's upwards of 70 to 80% in the inner cities, and that's not because of racism from white people. That's because of the shift in culture in the inner cities.
Let me ask you, do you agree with what he's saying there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yeah, I actually do agree. It's got to do with the bigotry of expectations. All right, Chad, I want to watch another one now. The three me's are boring me. I want to see some conflict in here. But quick, the Creator Kit. Creator Kit just dropped, thecreativitykit.com. I'm going to teach you the secrets of how to become an online entrepreneur, how to become an online creative. Even if you don't want to be a YouTuber, I can teach you how to edit. We're going to teach you everything, how the algorithm, clickbait. I work for Mr. Beast, bro. I've been doing YouTube for 9 years, getting canceled and staying true to myself. There's everything in this course. There's a lot of videos. It took a lot of work. Thecreativitykit.com. It's a one-time payment. It's only a one-time payment. It's not monthly. You just pay once and then you get it for life. But even if you pay for once, it continues monthly. I'm going to continue adding videos. We have monthly Discord calls. I want to build a community of these people. And if you want to start going viral on TikTok, bro, I got 1.4 billion views on hashtag Seco on TikTok. I just hit 1 million views on TikTok. I don't even know how. I don't even have the app. I don't even have TikTok. I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to get in on this. Stop scrolling, start monetizing, bro. You spend all day on your phone, bro. You might as well start making money off of it. You might as well start getting involved in the online creator space, bro, because that's where all the money is in the future. Oh, let me get another Red Bull. Hold on. Yeah, Creator Kit. Feel what I'm saying? Man, look how good I look right there. You feel me? Link in description. Link in description. It's a one-time payment, chat. It was all made. There's no corporation. It was just made by me and my editor. Feel me? All right, there's only two genders, second edition. Steven Crowder, changed my mind.
That talk about trans people, intersex people that used to be referred to as hermaphrodites, which is a phrase that we don't prefer anymore. We find it to be very triggering and offensive.
Very triggering and offensive!
Because of the way that it's been used historically.
Okay, but it
kind
was
of like the N-word,
medically
right?
used,
Kind
right?
of like the N-word, right? Like there's a certain
Well,
historical
not kind of like the N-word.
context.
Wasn't hermaphrodite a medical term?
Welcome to another installment.
No medical words are triggering!
Of There Are Only Two Genders Change My Mind. Unedited conversations with people on the street. Usually we do this on campus, but during summer break, that's kind of hard to do. So before we start, because this is a long one, I wanted to show you how this conversation ends up with our second person who claimed to be intersex and got a little hostile. And the reason for this is because of the length of these conversations. If you ever feel like we're talking around in circles or getting off in the details, you'll see that they come back later on and they matter. That's key when having a conversation and finding common ground. So this is about the end point.
Well, no.
Two ends
The
of a
biological
spectrum of
makeup of
types
a
of
brain is
brains.
not societal. The biological makeup of a
No,
brain
you're
is
right.
Societal!
But what I'm
biological.
saying is
So I
the
wanna
brain, right? So what I'm saying, the brain that you call the male brain or the female brain, with what you're
You
saying.
did, not me.
She got a deep-ass voice.
I'm saying is closer to that brain that you are referring to as a male brain.
You referred to it that way. So I want to make sure I'm correct that you believe there is a male brain generally and a female brain
I'm not going to say yes
generally.
to you when I'm explaining my answer, when I'm giving you my answer.
Okay.
My answer is what you are referring to as a male brain is more.
But I didn't. You did. That's why it's important. You brought this up, male brain and female brain. I'm trying to understand what you brought up. I didn't bring up male brain, female
that
brain.
So that context matters because we are going to rewind all the way to the beginning, where you can see that intersex girl works for this person who approached me, transgender male to female Danielle Skidmore, actually running for Austin City Council in District 9.
She's intersex?
How are you? Would you like to change my mind?
I'll try.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I was going to the post office and saw your table, and I've heard about your show, so I thought.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Damn, why is she built like me?
Yeah, right?
Appreciate it.
Cool.
What's your name?
Danielle.
Danielle. Absolutely. So, Stephen, and if you're familiar at all with the show, this is just where we engage in a civil discussion, dialogue on issues that are usually pretty controversial. They result in talking points with a lot of people, and we don't get to see full-length conversations. So, I believe there are two genders.
Okay.
You're welcome to change my mind.
I think that I think human biology is really complicated. I think that gender identity is real and intrinsic, and I think that I don't think there's a binary. I don't think there's a binary for anything.
Can I ask you, are you transgender?
Bro, you gotta get a better mic.
I am actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sweaty this morning.
That's okay. No,
and it's funny. I was walking down the street and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign, right, to have this conversation.
So, what do you believe is wrong, I guess, about my statement? You said
there's two genders?
Yeah.
I think I've come to realize, so I'm trans, right?
Yeah.
And that...
How do you have a kid?
Why we are the way we are, like what makes our core humanity, right, is beautifully complicated. So like my son's got a genetic disorder, right? He's missing an enzyme that lets him metabolize 2 amino acids, right? Why that is, we have no idea. Like it was a biological variation, it's true, right? It doesn't diminish his humanity,
right?
But it is fundamentally different. Now, like why I'm trans, to be honest with you, I don't know, right? Now it took me 37 years to stop.
She's ockier than me, bro. Look at those arms, bro. Hold on. Look at the bicep vein. Golly.
Fighting what I knew to be true from the earliest ages, like as a child, to work my way through the social stigma of my reality, which was that I know I'm different. I don't understand why I am. I don't know why I would, go and hide it.
Chad, this is actually a woman. WL.
In the bathroom and wear my sister's clothes, right? Like when I was 7, right? Like, yet it all got wrapped into the expectations of society.
Okay, so I want to make sure I'm just kind of unwrapping this carefully. You said the truth of your reality.
Yeah.
That you are a woman.
A transgender woman. Yeah.
Okay. How do you know that's the truth?
How do I know that it's true?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Woo, this audio, bro. Come on, man.
You're a heterosexual, I presume, heterosexual cisgender male.
Okay.
It's presumptuous, right?
No, well, that's okay. That was presumptuous, but correct.
Okay.
Well, I think this is obviously.
So, Chad, you're saying this is just a dude with some plastic titties and a kid?
Big component of the LGBTQAI community that preferences, sexuality preferences. As far as I'm attracted to women, that's a preference, obviously. So it's innate. I was born, I like women, and biologically I was born a male because I have a penis and the hormonal profile and chromosomes of a male. So that's how I know that it's true to state that I'm a male.
She looks like a jacked XQC.
As a male, because you're a male because like you're XY.
I didn't simplify it to XY to a multitude of factors. I have a male brain, I have a male body, everything from bone density to my hormonal profile to, yes, my penis. All of these things pretty clearly would file me in the cabinet under male, biologically.
Like in the spectrum of biological variation, you're in that big collection of people that have all of those things in alignment.
Yeah.
There are people, right, like 2/3 of 1% is the best number now, right? That are transgender, based on what we know.
Sure.
Which in Texas is like 130,000 adults, right? Who, for reasons that are still unknown, don't have all of those biological components that you described, don't align as cleanly as yours do.
Okay. Well, you say, unknown. Again, this goes back to you said your truth that you are a female.
Yeah.
You asked me why am I a male. I hope.
Chat, stop violating, bro. This chat is crazy.
I hope that I've answered it as clearly as I can.
Right.
So I would return that same question to you because I think we need to start with the presupposition. There needs to be the same amount of validity to our arguments as far as us rationalizing them.
Stop saying that's Luke Belmar. That's disrespectful.
You said the
chat, stop.
Truth that you are a female. Yeah. You were born a male. How do you know that's the truth?
I was born a transgender woman.
Okay, and how do you know that's the truth?
How do I know that's the truth? Like, in what biological context? Is it like...
Chat, stop saying the kid's off of perk 30. That's so disrespectful, bro.
Is it validated? Is that the question?
Yeah, how do you know that you're not simply a man who believes he's a woman?
How do you... Like, why are you, if you're heterosexual, why are you attracted to women?
Because it forwards the human race.
There's a lot of biological mechanisms in there, namely to procreate since the beginning of civilization.
If somebody is attracted, same-sex attracted.
No, chat. This is disrespectful. I don't approve of this chat at all.
Gay man, do you believe that?
Chat, you are just
wrong?
Nope. Sorry. Stop it now.
That's not their intrinsic reality.
Well, again, it's a sexual preference, and I think that's very important because the sexual preference is different from biology, right? And this is what I find also pretty interesting to me is right now they're teaching that, obviously you're born gay, but gender is a choice, and that to me I just don't agree with. So, how do you know? You say that you're a transgender, you were born a transgender woman, right? Yeah. But I would assume on your birth certificate it said male.
Right.
So at some point you made the decision to live the way that you live right now.
Chats, stop it. You're all going to hell, bro.
Right.
At some point I made the decision, it was almost a decade ago, to unpack all of the guilt and shame I felt for being different, right? Mm-hmm. And at some point I made the decision to unpeel guilt and shame, right? Mm-hmm. About my truth, and to start trying to reconcile it with the rest of my.
Chad, is it my truth, or is it just you can like? Can your truth just be that you confuse
life and to reconcile it with a society that is still pretty hostile?
Someone in the chat, not me, said this kid's got unspoken riz, bro.
To people who are different. Mm-hmm. So it was a question of no longer fighting against myself.
Yeah.
So, and then even after I did that, I spent another.
Is this thing? Is she saying anything really, or is it just saying I'm empathy and my truth? And I really started to unpack and unpeel, and that's just the way it is. And because of my past, like, are you really saying anything, or are you just like?
Another 6 years, desperately trying to not accept that. I accepted the truth, and I'm like, how do I reconcile with that? I'm an engineer, a civil engineer. I'm a parent, a special needs child, right? Like, how can I be who I knew I am and still function in society? So it took me years, and eventually I realized that I don't have a choice. Like, we look at the news this morning.
Chat, Chat, you really need to find God. You need to find God. I'm trying to listen to her truth.
Right? And with Tony Bourdain, taking his life, right?
Right.
So 40% of transgender people attempt suicide.
Right. I feel like a lot of people who are just lost end up like taking these gender hormones so that they decide that the problem in their life is I'm trans and I've never found myself. Like, maybe you just need to go. There's a lot of other things you need to work on. The misconception is that transgender people are depressed because of like society's pressure. But no, these people are a lot of them are just confused. And they find out 7 years after taking conversion therapy and conversion medication that they're even more depressed before. But they get 7 years of delusion of like, yeah, I was Nick, now I'm Nicole. And they get 7 years of that, and then like, oh shit, I missed my dick.
Can I pause you right there really quickly? Just first off, I hope that I haven't been hostile. I know you talked about that.
Been hostile
okay.
at all. No, this is a great.
Okay, good. Because I know we disagree, but I certainly don't want to be disrespectful to you personally, even if I disagree with you. So
I don't find that we disagranding actually.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that way, because the last thing I want is for you to feel as though you've been sat down and it's been a sandbagging. And you've brought up, Anthony.
What a white word. I just don't want you to feel like, I just want you to sit down and just get sandbagged or anything like that. I wasn't trying to put that on you. I don't want to, cement you or anything like that. But I was just trying to just speak to you. Just shut up.
Bourdain, you brought up the suicide rate. I think that's very important. It's about 41%. It doesn't get better after hormone replacement therapy or even actually doing the full sex reassignment surgery.
So here we are, right? I will disagree with you.
Okay.
I think the data shows that when people are able to live their lives as themselves and are.
Yo, this is chat. Someone said the kid is throwing up sets. You're so bro.
Accepted in their community, in their social networks, that's their friends and their family, professionally, in their city, when they're not stigmatized, when they don't lose their job, when they don't lose their housing, when they aren't ostracized or demonized, right? Like our state legislature spent the last spring and then called a special session.
Yeah, she's civil and she's speaking like a politician, but you know, you could probably get confused with the empathy and like believe in this shit now, but still, like at the end of the day, yo, look at you.
Essentially, to demonize my existence based on somebody's, you know, I don't honestly, sincerely held religious belief. I'm not sure why, but to basically challenge my very validity as a human being, right? Then, yeah, people can be frustrated and scared and terrified and hopeless and then kill themselves. But in my community, when people are able to live their lives and are accepted and able to, you know, aren't discriminated, right? Then their suicide rate.
Yo, she looks like a Skyrim NPC. God damn, man. Yo, you are really wrong for that, bro.
Rates fall dramatically. The single best thing you can do for somebody who's LGBTQ of any sort, but especially trans, is recognize their truth and accept their humanity.
Well, I would disagree with you there. And first off, I think you made a couple. Yeah, let me explain why. You made a couple.
The kid is not GDK, bro. You fucked up for
presumptions. Maybe they're not trying to demonize your very existence. Maybe they just disagree with you, and maybe it doesn't come from a Christian perspective. Maybe it comes from a scientific one. Maybe it comes from a perspective of a medical perspective. For example, at Johns Hopkins.
No, that's okay.
I think we're okay having a conversation, you and I, right now, right?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. Thank you, though.
The White Knight came in to save the Skyrim broad, bro. Like, come on, bro.
And the suicide rate statistically, anecdotally, I'm glad to hear that your group of friends do better. Because one thing, I definitely don't want people attempting suicide in a 41%.
It's not just my friends. I mean, the data from the National Center for Trans Equality, the Equality Texas, HRC, it's not like my anecdotal sort of group of friends. The scientific.
I'm saving you with my Instagram live. Are you safe? Are you feeling safe? Skyrim guy?
Data shows that when people are not discriminated against and when transgender individuals are able to live their life, whether they, you know, just transition socially or have hormone replacement therapy or have surgery, whatever, when people are able to live.
This is what Karens do. They just start recording stuff aggressively and pass it like, it's just aggressively record you to try to fight back.
Their lives, their mental health is better.
Well, statistically, it's inaccurate. Statistically, the suicide rate doesn't really improve after
I'm
sex reassignment therapy.
But that, so maybe that's something we can follow up on.
Okay, let's assume it's comparable. Let's assume it's slightly lower. Let's go with that. I've seen the studies that you're talking about, and it might be slightly lower. It's not dramatically lower. But I think this is predicated on the idea, and I don't think it's an ill-founded idea, that because of discrimination, because of societal pressure, because of feeling like an outsider, people have more mental health issues. People are more prone to depression. People are more likely to attempt suicide if they feel ostracized and isolated, right?
Yeah, if they're treated as less than human.
I would.
Don't you just hate these Karens, bro? Like, yeah, I'm standing here. This is my right. I'm gonna call the manager.
I would agree. But the fact is, minorities generally commit suicide or attempt it in far fewer numbers. For example, white males are 2 times more likely than black men. The transgender attempted suicide rate is higher than American slaves or Jews in concentration camps. Are we to believe that they've been treated more poorly in modern America than American slaves or Jews in Auschwitz?
You're asking me to compare transgender individuals to.
No, the statistical reality that nowhere else do you find that suicide rate outside of some serious psychiatric disorders, including those who have been enslaved. Which might suggest again that this is not a truth, as you said. People may perceive it as a reality, but it may not be ideal to treat it just telling people that that's the truth, that's the reality, when it's in conflict with biology and their hormones and their brain and their biological makeup, because it can have catastrophic results. And how many genders are there? Because now we're talking about non-binary, right?
How many genders are there? I think gender is a continuum.
This who gets to fucking make laws? Gender's a continuum?
Halfway.
What does that even mean?
I think part of this is my take on it, right? And this is my own personal opinion and how I've come.
How do you identify, just so I make sure?
Bro, there's 3 people watching your Instagram live. Karen, stop just standing like that.
You just identify as a woman?
I'm a transgender woman.
So you say transgender woman?
I'm comfortable owning the fact that I'm trans. I don't know that any of us has a responsibility to own anything about our own individuality. Like, I don't don't think anybody needs to walk down the street and say, hi, I am
Chat, stop it. Chat, stop it.
a heterosexual man, or I am a homosexual woman, right? But for me, I'm comfortable being visible, right?
Sure.
I'm lucky that I get to live in Austin and I get to be visible and not suffer too many consequences. Now, the reality is, I am a very small sliver of the trans population.
Right.
If I weren't white.
This is why she's a politician. It's just magic tricks going on. She's speaking really empathetically, and you start to believe it, right?
Professional, right? My murder rate, if I were an African-American transgender woman, I'd be 30 times more likely to be murdered than I am. So
African-American men are much more likely to be murdered than white men too. So a big part of that is not necessarily trans.
Race is real, right? And that's
by other black
issue.
people too.
Race is a component of all of our interactions in society.
I
But gender,
think it's
okay, so
important
back to
on
my truth, right?
Yeah.
So
back to my truth. Aren't you tired of hearing that? Can't there just be an objective truth? When did it change where people could just have my truth?
our gender identity, who we are in our brain from birth, before we're talking about any kind of hormonal replacement, okay?
Yeah.
Varies across all of us. I'm at peace with. And I honestly think the science will prove that fact. There was a study that was presented this summer in, I forget the researchers, I think were Belgian or Dutch, and it was presented in Spain, Barcelona, like a month ago, that doing imagery studying, right? So functional MRIs on brains of transgender children before HRT. Okay, so there have been some studies that have done in the
most
past
famous study was the Rometty study.
Was done with folks who might have been in transition or post-transition.
Yeah, rip your set.
Yeah.
And this.
Okay, sorry.
Allah Akbar!
I can't do it. All right, shall let's move on. This is enough. It's just gonna be 50 minutes of the same shit, right? Oh no, the Karen sat down. I don't care. I joined Andrew Tate's cult and it was worse than I thought.
Today, I'm getting a PhD from Hustler University, also known as Hustlerversity by those of us with the grind set. It was created by this guy.
I'm top 2. You think you're smart? I bought this coin and it's going up. You could have bought any coin and it went up in the last year. The Matrix was broken.
Hustlers University is the greatest thing that exists on the face of the planet for people who are trying to escape the Matrix. Become Hustlers University. Welcome to the metaverse. Inject it into your brain.
You can skip university, you can buy my program, and I guarantee you will know everything you need to know. Have you ever seen a college professor with an S63 and a McLaren and a Lambo and an Aston Martin standing next to a Porsche? No, you've never seen any of this. I know how to make cash.
Now, if you're wondering why I'm enrolling in a college that looks like it was started by the son of Mr. Worldwide, it's actually quite simple. Hustleversity was started by Andrew Tate, a guy that basically no one knew about until 6 months ago, and is now somehow more searched than Mr. Beast, Kanye West, or most shocking of all, even the Island Boys, who I thought would have a career forever. But such are the tides of fame, I suppose.
What is this fit chat? Dudes wearing suspenders? Like, look at you with your little mug in your basement. Yeah.
And I guess the real question is, how did this happen and why? Well, Andrew attributes his meteoric success to a change in business strategy.
Shout out to Aiden Ross and shout out to Fresh and Fit.
I put together a particular strategy about 6 months ago because I decided to step up my overall exposure because of a new product I launched. I run an online school that teaches people how to make money online. I changed my approach towards social media and I ended up absolutely everywhere.
Now, if you're wondering what business strategy that is, or even what business this guy's in, turns out he's one of these male success gurus who will be your surrogate father essentially for a fee. And the program he runs is called Hustleversity, where he teaches you how to make fast money if you'll only pay $50 a month. And one of these—
a month, chat, but Creativity Kit, one-time payment, and you're gonna learn all this stuff about how to make money online. It's specific to TikTok, specific to YouTube, to learning skills, one-time payment. Simple. Stop scrolling, start monetizing, bro.
Fast money methods turns out to be selling Hustleversity to new people by posting clips of him, Andrew Tate. And because of this, it kind of created this pyramid scheme where there was a flood of TikTok videos and biased reviews saying that Andrew Tate is the one true savior that will save you from poverty. He's basically Morpheus from the Matrix, and that's not even me calling him that. He calls himself that.
I get called Morpheus a lot.
We are living inside of the Matrix, and I am Morpheus.
He says he wants to wake you from your...
Get to the point. Why are you just echoing the shit he said? It's like a bunch of dudes like you coping in the comments, pretty much.
Prisons. All by selling you a program that sounds like what high school dropouts used to put as their education status on Facebook. Attended the School of Hard Knocks and graduated Hustleversity with a PhD. Wait, you're a doctor? No, that's the pimping hose degree. Which is something, by the way, I didn't make up.
Hey, chat, if you think the Creativity Kit is a scam, then spend $100,000 and go to school. Right? This is a one-time payment, and there's valuable information in here. I got that Millie plaque behind me. I've made a life out of doing this. I'm never gonna go broke again. I'm never gonna have to work a job again in my life. This is my life now. There's valuable knowledge that I know. So if you think this is a scam, go to school. Go in debt. Go in student loan debt instead of spending a one-time payment for this course.
When you tell people...
Oops.
It's a course that Andrew Tate himself sells. But I don't think you want to take advice from someone who's in the middle of a human investigation.
They all say the same shit. I've reacted to so many of these cancel videos, and they literally all have the exact same talking points, bro. And this is a brand new video, August 1st. This shit came out yesterday. 500,000 views already.
And that's not even to mention accusations of beating women or...
Accusations of beating women. Shut up.
And allegedly admitting that one of his businesses was, quote, a total scam. But none of this has stopped over 100,000 people from signing up for Hustleversity, which at $50 a month nets him $5 million a month, despite it being a repackaged version of the same male guru grift that we've seen over 100 times, like Tom Vu, John Crestani, Dan Lok, Grant Cardone. Need I go on? What's the difference with Tate? See, despite his alleged criminality, toxicity, psychopathy, Andrew does have one undeniable skill that seems to be responsible for most or all of his success so far. He's just really entertaining.
I hate everyone equally. Don't come at me and call me sexist or racist or any of these things. I hate everyone. I don't care if you're black, white, straight, gay, man, and woman. I hate you anyway. I do know how to administer CPR. However, I will not administer CPR unless you're a hot female. If you're some fat dude and you just had a heart attack and I don't really know you.
Is that lady billing you and you back and rearrange your bones? Why is it being massaging for 4 hours straight, bro?
I have a lot of muscle. It's painful to carry it around. It's a 2-hour massage.
You see, guys, modern influencers are slowly learning that we live in a post-consequence world, with people like Jake Paul running around just serially scamming people and nothing happening to them. People are starting to realize that the only real currency is attention. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is not that you go to jail. The worst thing that's going to happen to you is you become irrelevant.
So what's the point of this fucking video?
And this is what separates Andrew Tate from a lot of the fake gurus I've covered in the past and makes him much more effective and maybe dangerous at what he does.
Dangerous.
And in that way, he's got more in common with someone like Alex Jones.
We're gonna beat your ass. You just get the
W Alex Jones in the chat. Free Alex Jones, the OG conspiracy theorist. Bro, this guy was on his shit. We're gonna react to some really conspiracy shit. We stay in the stream, bro.
That through your stinking traitorous head.
Yeah.
And he does with someone like Dan Lok or Grant Cardone. Both Jones and Tate operate sort of on this playbook where entertainment is king. They say a bunch of outlandish statements that builds attention.
Yo, Seven's in the chat. Thanks for the 5. He said the course is really good, bro. It's a lot more than what I expected. I can't wait to put the course to use. You and Musa put in work. Thank you for your money. Yo, Sevens, there you go. $5 voucher in the chat. W Dono. There's a lot in the course. It was not easy to do overnight, bro. We've been working on this shit for weeks, man.
And then once they're the crazy guy, all they have to do is say a few basic things that everyone agrees with, and then their audience suddenly thinks they're a genius. I mean, everyone has seen this with Alex Jones, right? You have modern philosopher Joe Rogan seemingly saying that he predicts everything.
W Joe Rogan in the chat. I'm about to react to him after the sue.
Alex is right about far more than he's wrong.
But he's a white dude and they label him as an alt-right fucking racist piece of shit. So now they cancel him on every single platform, bro. Free Alex Jones.
In reality, Alex Jones is predicting everything sort of all the time. So of course he's going to be right some of the time. And it's sort of the same with Tate. He says so much. Like in one segment, he'll say something outlandish like men should be able to cheat on women, but it doesn't work the other way around because that's disgusting.
Let's not pretend that male loyalty and female loyalty are the same thing.
But loyalty is loyalty.
Nope, it's not the same shit.
But they're not the same thing, are they? However, I would not see my infidelity as nearly anywhere near even 1% as disgusting as female infidelity.
Drew said, hey, Stigo, today's my birthday, and happy birthday. I'm finally taking my life into my own hands. I'm going to escape the Matrix and never look back and hope others see the truth. You and Luke are spreading. W. Luke Belmar in the chat too, bro. He's also spreading the truth. Wanted to show you some love. Happy birthday to Drew in the chat, bro. Appreciate you.
And he knows that's gonna get him clicks.
And chat, if you sign up to the Creativity Kit, you don't have to. People are saying like L scam, shit like that. You don't have to sign up, but there's valuable information in here, and I really like stand by this course and everything in here. There's a lot of information. It wasn't easy, and my recommendation, if you do sign up for it, is don't watch it all in one night. It's gonna take a while, but I would spend like a couple weeks looking through it and trying to digest the information. And by the way, it's a one-time payment. It's not no monthly shit, but I'm gonna keep updating it every month. I'm planning to continue the Creativity Kit for a long time. So all you gotta do is pay one time, and then you're good. You're in the Discord server. We're part of a community now. Let's get the spread together, bro. We gotta work. We gotta make money online, man.
And piss people off. But then we'll say in a segment right after, I believe in true love between a man and a woman. I believe there should be more love.
I think relationships are a beautiful thing. I think that the synergy between men and women are a beautiful thing if they are correctly collaborated.
KOD said, come on, Seiko, don't compare your Creativity Kit that you made in a week. I didn't make it in a week. I made it in months to 4 years of school. College has many success stories. Actually, no, the most successful people I know are all dropouts. I dropped out. Musa failed high school. Most of the people that you look up to, the platforms that you're watching this on, are all dropouts. College has success stories, but for jobs. If you want to be independent, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to learn how to do this shit and you don't want to work for anybody, then this is what this course is for. If you want to work for somebody, then don't do this course. If you want to like learn how to like have skills and develop stuff online so that you're valuable, this is the course for you. If you want to get a job and be a wagey, then go to college. That's simple. But I know there's a lot of people who don't want to do that. This course is for you.
I think that that's what makes society function. I think that's what makes the world function. I think that men and women falling in love and having children and having families are very, very beautiful things.
Well, who doesn't agree with that? And he'll talk to like men's issues. He'll talk about how lonely men are.
Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men because I dealt with this guy, he's arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even fucking exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to.
And so this makes it so that the many people who are trying to say, Andrew's just crazy, they don't see the full con that he's running because the crazy is only half of the game. Because eventually people hear the other half, the basic stuff that's obvious, and go, well, he's not totally crazy. And people just eventually kind of go down the Tate rabbit hole where they think, you know, maybe I can leave the Matrix and get girls, jets, and Bugattis. Maybe I just need to become financially free. How do I do it? Who's looking out for me? And that's where Hustleversity enters the picture.
Is he saying it wrong just to be funny? Like, is that his only joke? Bro, this guy, the title of this video is I joined Andrew Tate's cult. It was worse than I thought. He hasn't made any point yet. All he's done is shown clips.
Look, I know we just covered a lot, right? But to understand this next part,
sponsor?
To understand Hustleversity, it requires a deep understanding of Andrew Tate's appeal. So we can see why Hustleversity is on the one hand so
take off your suspenders, bro.
Popular, despite being so bad. Because otherwise, this whole video is anticlimactic and confusing. Because when I first joined Hustleversity, I thought it's got to be different, right? To have this many people paying every month, they have to have things that you just can't learn for free, right? Wrong. Once again, I'm disappointed because I joined this month and have been going through the classes, which is basically all of the same boring topics all of these guys teach about making money. It's all the most surface level stuff. He assigns a so-called professor to each skill, and all of this all takes place inside of Discord servers. And so in these chat rooms where your instructors have a fraction of the charisma of Tate, you're supposed to commit yourself to these skill sets, which are super surface level because, of course, this all appeals to the lowest common denominator men who think answers can come from TikTok videos. And this is where it starts to hit you as you're scrolling through Discord threads.
Get to the fucking point. Over 2/3 in the video, just say something, man.
That this kind of was all a big bait and switch. I mean, think about it. You've been told you're gonna escape the matrix. You're going to take the red pill. But what you end up doing in this course is sort of learning how to run an Amazon side hustle for Jeff Bezos. Like, no offense, you're not breaking the matrix. You work for the richest guy in the world. Like, imagine Morpheus gives Neo the red pill and says, hey, have you ever day traded before?
That wasn't funny.
It doesn't stop there either.
That wasn't funny.
Like, you've been told you're going to be rich, right?
What up, Rudy?
Guarantee you will make money with this system. Hold on tight. We're about to get rich.
But Hustlers University sort of changes the rules and definitions once you're inside. Like, they have this cash quadrant of time and cash where you're either time poor or cash poor, time rich, cash poor, cash rich, time poor. You get the idea. And what they define cash rich as is very telling. They define it as having $5,000, which by that definition, guys, I'm proud to say I'm cash rich. Now, guys, look, having $5,000 is great, but you ain't rich, right? The lifestyle we've been...
Okay, but you need to keep working on it. Like, this guy's just
sold on here
Oh, straight.
is exotic Bugattis, not extra Starbucks biscottis. I mean, am I crazy here? Like, I feel like most people who joined this Discord want Olive Lamborghinis, and they're sort of getting Olive Garden fettuccine. And this weird disconnect is
So that's why it's worse than you thought, because they're not making Lambo money?
everywhere, where Andrew Tate is practically screaming how great Hustlers University is, on the one hand.
Hustlers University is the greatest thing that exists on the face of the planet for people who are trying to escape the matrix.
And yet, if you look at their own success screenshots that they provide, their students are getting at best like very part-time income. Like, there's screenshots of $400 a month, maybe $2,000 a month. And those are the examples they chose.
Hey, Digian said, Creative Kit is a W, but you should think about dropping the price. Your course competes with Tate, so making it $250 is not helping anyone. But it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime access. And I have video tutorials. I'm gonna continue adding it. I'm gonna keep having Discord calls once a month. I want to build a community. So as soon as you just pay that one-time fee, you're good for life, bro. I'm not ditching this. This is not just a pump and dump. I'm staying with this, bro. This is like, I want to build a community. Like, we're gonna have an active Discord server. I already do. The amount of TikTokers who have been like already communicating with me, my editor, all the time, like pushing this information is crazy. And now people can make money together. It's a one-time payment. That's how I justify the price.
Which I'm not.
But thanks for saying it's a W. You see that, chat? He gave $5, said the Creativity Kit is a W.
Talking the people who are doing this, like, good for them.
Let's go, bro. Feels good to hear good reviews about it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, bro. I'm glad you enjoyed the Creativity Kit. It just dropped. Link in description. Thanks, man.
Them. But unless you consider being cash rich, having $5,000 total in your bank account, then this course doesn't seem to be getting people rich. It just teaches lost guys extremely basic skills that are free to learn, but charges them $50 a month for it so they can feel like they're escaping the matrix by working for Jeff Bezos. And this all brings us kind of back to the real reason for the success of Hustlers University, which is, of course, Tate himself. But the
chat, if you think it's a scam, it's that simple. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Continue scrolling, continue going on social media every day. How many of you, WL, are making money on social media? Most of you aren't. Most of you spend time and are just consuming content instead of capitalizing off of it. But if you spend 6 hours a day on your phone, you should be making money on it. Time is money, and I know how to do it. Bro, I'm all over everybody's TikTok, and I don't even have the app. I know how to go viral. I know how to do it. And even if you don't want to be someone face to face, we can teach you everything. The algorithm, how to make Photoshop, how to be an editor, like all the back end stuff like that. There's so many ways to learn valuable skills. This content creation shit is the new TV. It's all here. Film school, done. I went to TV school personally. Chat, when's the last time you watched TV? Never. You watch this. You watch this. This is the future. And I can tell you what I've learned from 9 years of doing it. I'm never gonna work for anybody again in my life. You need to learn a valuable skill, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. It's not that easy to learn it overnight, but I teach all of that in the course, bro. And if you think it's a scam, just don't buy it. Continue scrolling.
Irony is that once you join the university, you barely see Tate at all. He claims to be teaching the secrets.
Vexy says, how do I join? The link is in the description, www.thecreativitykit.com. And right there, you just sign up and then you're good. It's a lifetime access. You get access to the Discord server. We're going to keep on updating it monthly. It's not just a one-time, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access, bro. I don't want to keep charging your card. A lot of people, they forget about the course and then it keeps charging the card. You pay once and then you in it for life. When you pay once and you get all the videos. I have so many videos in that course, bro. I had to write it out. I've been working on it for like over a month. Finally got it done.
To modern wealth creation. But the reality is, from what I saw, he was too busy marketing to actually be present in the Discord. And instead, he just had all these random people teaching you like e-commerce or freelancing or copywriting and investing. And this is kind of one of the reasons that I struggled to get good screenshots to show you guys from inside.
Thank you to Prequel. The $10 said respect. It's that simple, man. If you don't have the money for it, then just don't buy it yet. Save up or just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Go to school. Take out some loans and go to school. But I'm telling you, bro, the information in here is stuff that you could take with you for years and years and years. This is the future. You spend so much time scrolling, you should be making money while you're doing it. Stop being a bot looking at TikToks all day. Make some bread off of it. That's what I want to show you. Even if you don't want to buy my course, bro, that's definitely something that's true. If you're on all day here and you're not making money off of it, you've fallen behind, bro. You're lacking. You're lacking. That's how I bro, I'm all over everyone's TikTok page, and I've been streaming for what, 3 weeks in season 2? This shit was light work. I know how to do it. Obviously I do. Thanks another for the 10. Think about Hustle University. You can find the info for free on the internet. Yeah, you can. You have experts personally to guide you. Well, the experts on my course is just me. It's video tutorials and it's my editor's tutorials, and we're gonna teach you the formula that has worked. What, I have like 1.4 billion views on #Sneako? Bro, this is where the money is. It's on social media, and most of you have no revenue sources on social media. That's a fact.
The course because it was so boring and bland. And that's why I decided to finally cancel my plans to become cash rich. And that's when I found out about the last—
Why do you have 2 cameras? It's just shut up.
Last trick Tate uses to get you to stay.
Anyone who messes this up, annoys a professor, doesn't renew their subscription, their card cancels, anything stupid, then you're going to regret it for a very long time because there's simply nowhere else to go.
That's right. They tell you there's nowhere else to go besides Hustlers University. This is the only place where you're going to learn not to be broke. And even the people who want to be part of it and simply don't have the money, Tate has told them that there's no second chances. They're going to go back in the Matrix if they miss a single payment.
I had to unsubscribe to get my mother a birthday present, but I resubscribed the next month.
Christian, thank you. He said WKit, WVid, W YouTuber, bro. I appreciate that, man.
I don't believe that. I don't believe you. And I also think if you were a member of Hustlers University for a month and you didn't make enough money to buy your mother a birthday present, you f***ed up. So you're probably going to end up kicked out.
Like, their 2 responses are, that's not true. And even if it is, it's your fault anyways, which I find amazing. It couldn't be the program, right, guys? And you have to understand that for the people actually in the course, they're like deathly afraid of missing a payment because they've been told that if they do, guess where they're going? That's right, straight back in the Matrix. In jail, they call it.
And you'll
see thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Javino. I mean, Andrew just said, Sneako, they want to be brokies. You don't got to fix them, fam. Get your 1,000 sales and flex on these wages with your 100K. They're going to be mad they didn't hop on when they could. Love. Nah, bro, I don't want to. I'm not trying to flex on anybody, bro. I'm not trying to flex on anybody, but I am trying to like provide an opportunity. I want this stream to be a forward thinking. I want people to like watch this and not just be entertained, but to take some actual knowledge from it. And bro, all my shit gets demonetized. I get censored on every platform. I don't get any brand deal offers. Even with 1 million followers on TikTok, 1.4 billion views on #Sneako on TikTok. You think I get any emails for brand deals? No. The shit that I talk about is not monetizable. So I need to make courses. So I need to do it on Patreon. I need to connect with my audience. So as long as I need to connect with my audience to make money, I might as well provide value. I'm telling you, there's valuable information in the course. I'm gonna stand by that. Thanks for the 5. I'm a graphic designer with a bunch of fairly big clients. I use my social media to get clients as an account, or do I need to make the video content too? No, you can, there's a million ways. I don't really know what you're asking. Thanks for the 5. I love your video, Chico. Don't got the funds yet for the course, but I'm invested with the stream. Opening my eyes every day. There you go. Dreadhead, he doesn't want to buy it yet. That's fine. But to call it a scam is just kind of dumb. If you don't want to make money online, don't make money online. Keep scrolling every day, bro.
We're new. We don't kick you out. We put you in the jail, and you sit there in your cell, and you have no access to the money-making information, and we just flood you with all the endless wins. Every time someone wins, we show you.
I mean, Andrew Tate hasn't reinvented anything. He's just doing it more successfully than a lot of fake gurus have in a while. But the result is the same as ever, where the real person getting rich, truly rich, is Andrew Tate.
You're broke! You're f***ing poor!
Okay, this video was an L. The Cult of Andrew Tate, Dark Secrets of the War Room.
Don't you want devoted followers who leave their families for you? Give their...
Mo Rizzo said $2. You can't get rich without investing in knowledge. Yes, wealth is information. Exactly, Mo Rizzo.
Money to you. Give their bodies to you. Give up their lives for you. Consider you God.
And will kill you.
Is Andrew Tate starting a cult? In my previous video, I documented his whole life story, and during that I came across a clip that kind of shook me.
I think it's good for me to be able to say, look, I have 110,000 people who like me, who are my fans, for example, who would help me if I ever asked for it, not that I ever would, who agree with my worldviews, but they're being taken seriously because they also have financial means. If they're complete brokies, nobody gives a shit.
So isn't that what a cult is?
When you hear him say that, and then you realize he's openly supported other cult leaders like Joseph Kony.
And the reason I got this t-shirt made is because I have a lot of respect for Kony. Now I know, okay.
EP signature, there you go, W10. I said I'm gonna buy it, and I'm joining. I'm tired of being broke. You have to invest to talk to millionaires, bro. You really do. You need to add value, and I'm providing value in the course, bro. It's that simple. Hope you enjoy. Let me know how you like it. I spent a lot of time on it. Let me know what you think of the videos.
He's a warlord, whatever. But Kony is a G.
And he has even praised the infamous German dictator.
Everything must happen instantly.
Thank you, Sultan.
Quickly, fast, speed, attack. Hitler conquered Europe with Blitzkrieg. You need to go quickly.
Then you realize he now has over 130,000 people paying him every month, essentially for his advice. But above all else, he has a secret organization called the War Room, a network of members with varied expertise which allows them to exert influence globally. They congregate in real life with the ultimate goal of achieving freedom in a world of slavery.
This slavery is just beginning. They are trying to reduce you to a QR code, and they are looking for people who blindly comply. This is why they make these mandates. The mandate is designed to purge the ranks of anybody who is not a slave.
This world of slavery is what he calls the Matrix, which kind of is just anyone who participates in the confines of today's society.
When I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave. In this Matrix, we're used for our efforts and our energies. And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor. The best thing to do is to understand the rules of the game and find a way to win.
So is it possible that Andrew Tate is doing a 2022 version of convincing people to believe in his worldview and worshiping him, then funneling them into a secret group to control them even more? Then once he has that control, well, we don't really know what
it's always some limp. I knew it. I was about to say it, just like it's always a limp, like this is a terrible, dark, toxic.
Do next. But he is going to do something based on what he said here.
Are you trying to keep up being like as viral as you are forever?
This is stage one of a 3-step plan. So I'm going to be viral for a little bit longer, then step 2 begins. The conquest is continuing.
I started doing research on cults, how they form, how they operate, how do members join, then research on cult leaders, how do they act, how do they recruit, how are they successful and unsuccessful. And before I give you this example, think about Andrew, the War Room Network, and how he thinks everyone is living in the Matrix. Typically, cults start as religious groups, which slowly turn into something dark and sinister. For example, the People's Temple.
Yeah, but what's the religious group that started, bro? Just because you put scary music doesn't make it true.
Jim Jones was a Methodist preacher with a sizable congregation in Indianapolis. He began to perform faith healings. Many of his followers believed he had a supernatural gift. The church would be renamed to the People's Temple, and Jones warned his followers that he had received visions of a nuclear attack that would devastate Indianapolis. This led the church to relocating to Guyana and forming their own little town that we now know as Jonestown. In In the beginning, everything seemed alright. Just a group of people.
You know about Jonestown, chat? And then they all drank the Kool-Aid and dropped. This dude right here convinced like 900 people to drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, and they all just fell to the floor.
Trying to make a community.
And died.
Eventually, a U.S. Congressman, Leo Ryan, led a fact-finding mission and went to Jonestown. While visiting, members of the People's Temple told Congressman Ryan they needed help and wanted to leave. Ryan quickly departed with 15 of those members. While boarding their plane, a truck of the cult members arrived at the airstrip and began shooting at the plane. Congressman Ryan and 4 others were killed that day. Later that same day, Jones, knowing that the US government would send the military to seize Jonestown, was quoted saying, "No way for us to die. We must die."
Loops, yes, marketing is part of the creativity kit.
With some dignity. A drink mixture of Flavor Aid and cyanide was created and handed out to all members. Those who refused to drink were injected with cyanide via syringe against their will. In total, 909 inhabitants of Jonestown died that day.
Let's go. Thanks for the 5. Appreciate you.
Cults are structured like an onion. The outer layers consist of helpful, harmless, and agreeable information. As you get closer to the center, you find more unusual and evil ideals. Andrew started to gain traction.
Kojo says, I was a big fan, but you are lost. How am I lost, Kojo? Where am I lost? I'm here every day in the same spot. I ain't lost. I'm right here. It will be interesting where you will end up. Suck my dick. Have my $5. Appreciate you. Xavier said, who do you think going to win, Jake Paul or Andrew Tate? Boxing? Jake Paul. I'm putting our money on Jake Paul.
By
Kickboxing Tate.
Presenting the ideals of right-wing conservatives on social media in a day and age.
You see, chat, there's always the same group of people like who watch this and they don't understand where my head is at. So like, you're lost. You're gonna go insane, bro. That's some hater ass shit. Why are you in my stream if you think I'm lost? Go watch somebody who you think is sane and thank you for your money. Get the fuck up out of here, bro. Why are you watching me if you think I'm insane? Every day I get the same people. It's like Gravity said, don't have the money right now, but I'm excited to check the kit. Some sort of subscription service that maybe has a different device would be dope. Since some of your audience is teens with less money, keep it up. Well, it's a one-time payment. It's a one-time fee. I'm not trying to aim like before TikTok, my target audience was like, but a lot of people watch my shit are older than me.
Where liberal ideals dominate the mainstream. In America, it's assumed the country is about 50% Republican and 50% Democrat, but most celebrities, companies, and mainstream media outlets identify as Democratic and liberal, so there is, theoretically, a huge part of the country that is being—
So then how is the government not a cult?
Underrepresented. That's where Andrew steps in. People latch onto him and his ideas because he says the things that generally most Republicans or conservatives agree with.
Doesn't that show how powerful the people behind all this shit are?
Yeah.
You know, like you've got Trump who doesn't give a shit.
It's a big fight we have ahead of us.
You know,
Yeah.
and you've got
Yeah.
the best soldier you could have as a president, and he's still struggling to get the wall built. He's still struggling. He's still people, conservatives.
W. Jordan's getting the course this month. He's excited. Appreciate you. 5 for too much hours. Would you get in a mainstream podcast in the future to expand your brand? Yes, I'm going to go back on Aiden Ross pretty soon. Jai, thank you, Jay. He gave 5 from Canada. People scared of a $245 course because they know that they're lazy and won't take action. So instead, they'll buy some Jordans to get a dopamine hit, bro. $245, bro. You can spend that on some shoes, some Yeezys, or you can learn it. You could get some valuable information. You know, pick and choose. It is what it is. And Luke Righthand said, everyone should learn a skill. Photoshop, video editing, marketing scales. WCCO, wake these bots up. Way too many people don't have any skill. And that's what I'm teaching you in the creativity kit. How to learn a skill so that you become valuable. So that you become valuable. There's a lot of tutorials in there, bro.
Being censored on social media.
This is the outer layer of the cult onion. The second layer of the onion would be more of his controversial takes that divide people. The things he says or does where even his own followers might disagree. To get to the more shady and evil layers, if there are any, you would probably have to join the War Room. He's extremely vague with what the War Room really is.
The War Room is a private network. That's the most I can say. Kind of imagine the Freemasons of old.
What we do know is that the War Room is like the Freemasons, which some consider to be a cult. We know it's a secret organization. We know that members have to pay to be in it, as well as compete to prove their value to the organization. We know that people join because they fear being stuck in the Matrix, and the War Room will be able to protect them. We know they meet in real life. We only know 3 members of the War Room: Tristan Tate, this author, and this guy Iggy, who is the master of spells and shadows. According to his Twitter account, he is the greatest hypnotist the world has ever known. Every other member of the War Room we can assume is just looked at as a number based on this video. So I want you to consider all of that while watching this video.
Yo, Shush said your hard work ethics is inspiring enough. Your hard work ethic is inspiring enough. We appreciate you very much. Appreciate you. Would love if there was a monthly installments plan for the kid too. Chat, W or L, should I add payment plan? I could add a payment plan if you want. I could add a payment plan. And also, I Am Creative, thanks for the 5. He said, just bought the course. I Am Creative, bro. Hella excited since I'm already thinking of leaving my job this year. Big thanks, my bro. I hope you enjoy it. Message me. I'll see you in the Discord. We'll talk soon. I'm gonna have a monthly call. Talk to me. I want to let me know what you think about it, and let me know what skills you learned from it. Appreciate you.
Don't you want to become a cult leader? Since the death of God, there's been a vacancy open. You could fill that void. Here's how. Establish front groups.
We're a Bible study group. We're a management course.
We're a meditation center.
Hustlers University. W chat. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna add a payment plan. I will add a payment plan. There you go. I'm listening.
Promise to fulfill their dreams.
We have the secrets to self-improvement. Join our elite mission.
You cannot stop me. I'm that guy. You need my help. You have two choices. You either sell your soul to Tate and say, I accept Tate is all-knowing. I will listen to you inside of Hustlers University. Please save me.
Offer them something free and get them to feel obliged to give you something in return.
Welcome to the Hustlers University 2.0 webinar. Free presentation.
Gradually, over time, you'll begin to shape the recruit's
Mo.
behavior by granting or withholding this love.
Thank you,
and attention.
Shishua.
After they've bonded, slowly start making your demands upon them. The message being,
Nothing in this world has value unless it relates to the leader.
If you have less money than me, even by a single cent, you're a fucking brokey, a wagey, a peon, a peasant, a nobody.
control their behavior.
Come live with us.
Wear these clothes.
Eat this food.
Why drink Coke? Why the would you spend £3 on a Coke when you can have an orange juice, a coffee, and a water? One of the most important ways
What the fuck is the point of this video, bro?
discover someone's a dickhead or not is if they wear a smartwatch. But male haircuts are probably the epitome, the top of the mountains of pointless shit men do. I want to be like him. Let me ask you a question. Do you eat salt and pepper? Or do you only eat salt?
Prescribe a rigid schedule.
You don't have fire blood. You don't wake up to go piss at 3:32 a.m. and go, I'm not going back to sleep because I want to make some fucking money. So you're all lazy.
Control their thoughts.
Our ideology answers all questions to all problems.
If I talk about something, I know exactly what I'm talking about all of the time. There are still idiots out there who go, I don't know if I can trust you.
Control their emotions. Induce guilt.
And here I am showing you how war room members live their lives. And you're not thinking, I need to get in that room. I don't know what you're thinking. You're probably not thinking at all. And instead, you're going to sit at home, make some excuse for why you're not in the war room, why you're not part of our network.
And fear.
I think you need to be sitting here panicking at the fact that you don't have enough money.
Yo, chat, does anyone watch Patrick CC? This video fucking sucks,
You need to
man.
be concerned and worried and sad. You need to do something about it today.
Control information. Keep them from knowing all the workings of the cult.
War Room is a private network. That's the most I can say. Kind of imagine the Freemasons of old. The War Room is the most powerful network on the face of the planet today.
Tell them that there is a part of their mind they must eliminate in order to find happiness.
No one cares about how depressed you are. No one gives a shit. You motherfuckers who aren't happy need to learn to be grateful.
Claim authority. It can
L. Patrick CC, bro, this video sucks.
come from a divine source.
Not only am I a better specimen of man, I am actually fulfilled with divine purpose. I'm one of God's favorites.
Bogus scientific research, or special knowledge.
I've analyzed the entire Earth and realized all of the world's problems. I'm about to tell you the root cause of every single problem in the world.
Make up stories about yourself to boost your importance.
I say with 1,000% confidence, I don't know any other motherfucker alive who could have done what I did yesterday.
Encourage separation from their family.
With a bunch of other insignificant losers. Think about it. Your dad's a fucking bitch, mom's stupid, sister, brother, whoever. Losers. Your aunt, that favorite.
Patrick LL in the chat.
Dumb as fuck. If they die, nobody would care.
Have confessionals where people demonize their early lives and only praise their life in the group.
So I felt very alone, particularly before I joined the War Room. I always say time and blood. I want to know, do our souls align? I need to find people that believe things that I believe, that want the same things that I want. You need to find a group of people that can support you inside a tribe that's strong enough to have your back all the way around. And that is the number one reason you should make the investment to join the War Room.
But don't be stupid about it. Start slowly. A good con man takes a little bit of truth and a lot of lies and pulls the wool over the eyes of the ignorant.
This is stage one of a 3-step plan. So I'm going to be viral for a little bit longer, then step 2 begins. The conquest is continuing.
Thanks for the 20, Joel. This video sucked. Hey, Sneaker, I'm a big fan. You should talk more about the Matrix. I'm about to go talk about the Bohemian Grove and get into some conspiracy shit. Also,
listen, fuck. It's my channel now. No, boys, it's all mine. I'll take it over. I bought it. I'm going to take over all the content.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. God, I'm tired of Tate. Fucking hell. Can you explain the course more? Just a quick rundown of it. Okay, so the Creativity Kit is a series of different video tutorials, information, written information from me and my editor about how to become an online creative, how to make money as an online entrepreneur. But also, like, I started the idea because I stuck to creativity for 9 years on YouTube. I got 1 million subscribers, going against the grain of the system, staying true to myself and being myself. That's how I got the audience that I have now. So not only like will I teach you the creative aspects of it, but also the behind the scenes things, what I learned about the algorithm, what I learned about going viral on TikTok, and also just the nitty gritty of it too. How to edit properly, how to capture people's bot attention. I went viral on TikTok I don't even have the app on my phone. I know how people's attention spans work, so I want to put you onto that knowledge that I know, because obviously I do. There's results to back up what I know. And I want to teach you all of that in here. So not only if you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be an independent creator, but also how to learn skills that will be valuable online. Basically, everything that's in the Creativity Kit is going to teach you how to make money on social media, because you spend 6 hours a day on it. You scroll all day long. You should have at least one revenue source. And that's what I'm going to teach you. Not just if you don't want to be talking to a camera, if you don't want to make your own videos, I'm going to teach you the behind the scenes stuff. You can get a job working for a YouTuber, bro, and you'll be set. That's way better than working for a corporation, working for McDonald's, in my opinion. What is the deal with the Bohemian Grove? Joe Rogan.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And I say this many times, and I'll say it some more. Give me that later.
You got it, Fred.
Alex Jones, he's made some mistakes, and some big ones. But he's also actually exposed some real shit. And he owns up to the mistakes he's made. They're not good.
W. Alex Jones.
He doesn't think they're good. There's a thing about finding conspiracies everywhere that's not good for your brain. I really believe this. I think that if you go looking for those things and that's all you look for, and you look for them all the time, you can get real paranoid and real crazy. And then there's also a bunch of people that are trying to stop you from doing that, because you do expose some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about Epstein a long time ago.
I know.
A long time ago. He was saying there is a fucking island, and they take all these rich politicians and some celebrities, and they bang these kids. And I was like, come on.
He called out Epstein before Epstein, man, and everyone called him crazy. The truth sounds crazy to bots.
Told me this a long time ago. So he's also the one who told me about Bohemian Grove.
Alex Jones has a really dope documentary on the Bohemian Grove that you should check out. If you're into conspiracies, holy shit, you need to watch the Bohemian Grove documentary.
Well, I actually watched it. I think this tape was actually made before I met him. So he went and snuck in to this place where like former presidents go. There's a photograph of it's Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush and a couple other people all standing around. And it's like these are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put on robes. And they would worship an hour.
On some eyes wide shut shit. That shit is real, bro. Why do you think Stanley Kubrick died before that movie even came out?
Owl God, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit. And then no one's denying that it's real. This really did happen. So they're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids.
Yes.
And some guy brings over something that's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's also a bunch of sticks.
Yeah, do you believe in this stuff, or do you think, how many of you are watching this? I know he's wearing a NASA suit. How many of you think that all this is just nonsense? WL, W, you believe in most conspiracies and you think that there's validity, or L, you think it's a whole bunch of garbage and we're lost and I'm insane and I'm losing my mind?
Sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god.
Why is that bad?
Imagine if you saw those, if that's what your business is, just finding those things. How crazy you think you get?
First of all, wait.
Then you add in vodka and head wounds.
Wait, hold on, wait. Go to the vodka and head wounds part. What do you mean?
Alex Jones.
Okay, I got you.
A lot of vodka, and he had a bad head injury.
God damn it, man. When I was in liberal arts school, man, there's this great teacher who changed my life, Sam Scoville.
80% W, you guys are a whole bunch of tinfoil hot wares. You know you're crazy too. If you put W, you can never call me crazy again. Take your meds, chat.
One of the things he taught was so beautiful. He still teaches there. One of the things he taught was figure out a way to take in all information and then filter out the shit that's not real and keep the real stuff. And like, you know, Alex Jones is like,
some of the stuff is real.
Take what's real and throw out the rest.
There's a good chunk of it that's real. Like,
so why do you think they silence him so much? Why do you think Alex Jones is banned off of all the social media?
Remember he was telling me that there's governments using chemicals that turn frogs gay? I was like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, yes. He goes, pesticides are turning frogs gay. And I'm like, that can't be real. No, there really is.
Is that true?
Yes, there's pesticides that change frogs' genders.
What?
Yes. Yes.
But
some pesticide fucks with frogs' genders.
That sucks.
Is that where the they-thems come from?
Maybe it doesn't.
I mean, depends on the frog.
Maybe it's awesome for the frog.
Depends
Maybe
on the
frogs
frog.
don't give a fuck because they've never been taught homophobia.
Why would they care?
They don't care who they fuck. But
who-
there's a real thing that. See if you can find that. It's a pesticide that has some sort of an effect, an unintended effect on frogs' genders. Dude, that's another thing that people don't talk about. Pesticides that have been used in like golf courses and like there's people who live around those. That's a chemical dump.
Yeah, golf courses are fucked up.
Pesticide atrazine can turn male frogs into
Whoa,
females.
cool.
So there's a fucking pesticide
Berkeley
that
News.
changes the gender, or should I say the sex? Is it the same thing?
They use the same shit on us, bro. Chad, stop drinking tap water.
I have to sex and gender.
Hey, I'm not.
Stop eating GMO foods, man.
Getting sucked into that fucking black hole, Rogan. You can keep that shit to yourself. But hey, I'll get sucked into another black hole.
Isn't that crazy though?
What?
Bomboka! Keep that shit to yourself. But hey, I'll get sucked into another black hole.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy though?
Well, yeah.
Okay, what else?
Before we get into that stuff, I want to say this real quick.
Okay.
Is that camera on me? Friends at the Bohemian Grove. Future friends, I should say. I just want you to know. I don't know much about you. I know Alex Jones, you know, probably on vodka drinks.
I don't think he was then. I think he was sober.
Look at him afraid. Come on, Duncan Trussell.
He started drinking after all this.
Please don't fuck this up.
Sorry.
So you had an infiltrator. Look, I went to a summer camp. We had bonfires. We wore robes. I mean, not like maybe what you do. I just want to say, hey, come on. Invite me, please.
Yo, shout out to Luke. He just bought the kit. Look forward to learn. Hope you do, bro. I'll see you in the Discord.
I won't tell anybody anything. I've heard you guys are pretty awesome. Actually, what I've heard is the idea was to get a bunch of hardcore neocons together and then mix some artists in the hopes that, like, having like brushing shoulders with artists would in some way, shape, or form loosen some people up.
Yo, Kid Gravity said just got the creativity kit. Was wondering if you could add a type of payment plan. Yeah, I will. I am tomorrow. But I already went ahead and copped. Already got a TikTok with you. Excited to learn ASAP WCECO, bro. I'll see you in the Discord. We'll talk soon, bro. We'll talk soon.
And I've also heard you have a tram that connects campsites there to other campsites, meaning you just get in the tram and suddenly you're hanging out with Dick Cheney. Listen, I won't tell anybody. I got a podcast. I won't even tell Joe. Let me in. I'll worship Moloch. I won't worship Moloch if it means hurting people. But I don't understand why people are upset about fucking. By the way, that fucking
Jesus
video.
Christ.
What's wrong with worshiping it?
Nothing.
This is
You're
the
getting
thing.
so excited.
This is the thing that I get confused about here.
Okay.
It's like in our country, we've got people who are Christian.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. And I do love Jesus. I was reading the book of Mark today regarding the parable of the sower. But that being said, I don't think it's fair necessarily to tell people they can't worship an owl or burn an effigy in front of an owl in some kind of symbolic magical ritual that represents the disintegration of your negative energy or whatever it may be. I really don't know. But to me, that's the other problem that's happening right now is like superstition is running rampant. I'm friends with lots of witches. I know a few Satanists. And I know a few people who are into the occult. And I don't know a single one of them that would tolerate child abuse. I don't know a single one that wouldn't kill somebody. Some of them would kill people if they thought they were hurting kids, and make it so that nobody found the body. Some of the Satanists.
You know why I think that these people they start touching kids and doing rituals of children is to separate God from. They do the most evil acts. They put on cloaks and then they do evil like blood rituals with children and they all touch them, not only so that they can blackmail each other, but to separate God from. So they separate all morality. Anything good can't happen anymore. There's no more empathy once you do crazy shit with a child. They summon the devil with these rituals.
I know they would kill someone probably. I don't know for sure. I'm not trying to throw any Satanists under the bus, but I'm just saying like this idea that we can't have alternate pagan religions in our country without immediately being associated with human sacrifice or child abuse, I think that goes against the American spirit. It's like, look, because people don't want to subscribe to your particular, like, very popular global religion doesn't necessarily implicate them in, like, something that is truly a horror, which is human trafficking.
Right.
So to me, this is the problem. It's like, man, we got to be a little bit more nuanced in our in our
WL take chat.
Our conceptualization of these people. Again, I don't know what's going on at the fucking Bohemian Grove, but from what I've heard, it's basically a summer camp for billionaires where they try to get artists in there to, like, loosen them up a little bit. That's what I've heard. I could be wrong.
Who told you this? Is this?
I honestly can't fucking say.
Interesting.
Look, man, I don't know, and I know. And
Have you seen the video of Bohemian Grove? Have you seen it?
The ritual in front of the owl god.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, dude, come with me to Burning Man, and you will see that
I'm sure.
every 50 feet.
Look, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't.
If it involves hurting kids, it's a big deal. And if these motherfuckers are doing anything that involves human sacrifice, hurting human beings, in any application of that,
of course,
then it's the worst thing on earth. And I'm so sorry that I said anything about it. But
It's really happening, bro. Come on, Duncan. This shit is really happening.
I don't think that's what this is. I mean, obviously, what we're seeing is not that.
Chat, for the people saying, L, why do you think that it's not happening?
We don't know what else happens. But what you're seeing is them burning sticks in front of this owl god.
Whoa. You gotta see that. You gotta see that.
What?
Look what they do. Real footage of the Bohemian Grove.
What you're seeing is them burning sticks in front of this owl god. And it's like this crazy speech they're giving while it's going on. It's really weird.
Hey,
can we hear some of it, the speech?
Speeches in the video. I found another video where they like stabilize the footage. It's like.
But I mean,
captioned in another one.
before this, nobody really believed that. Listen.
And all the winds, they carry with thy ducks. Hail fellowship's eternal flame.
This is actual footage from the documentary, the Bohemian Grove documentary by Alex Jones.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
And now they're lighting the effigy on fire, and everybody's cheering.
And that's just what was caught on camera. Vanessa, no, it's not in San Francisco anymore. They moved it. They all go to islands now because normies can wander into the forest where they used to do it.
It looks fun.
Stanley Kubrick had this quote once to Nicole Kidman, I think it was. They were working on Eyes Wide Shut. See if you can find what she said about the elites that he had said. I know I saved it. I can find it if I have a chance to look at my laptop. But it was something about him, talking about the powers that run the world and that they all have something on each other, and that's how they all can stay together. They all compromise each other. That's what Skull and Bones was about. Like, that's what all that stuff's about. So he had a much...
Ted, do you know George Bush was in the Skull and Bones Society? It's a fraternity where they start breeding people for the Illuminati.
More concise
man.
Quote on that, but when you see something like that, you go, well, maybe it's like fun that they do it, that nobody knows they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like one of those rituals where you get together, your dad thinks it's hilarious, and you both put your hoods on, you go out there and you burn the owl, or you burn the sticks in front of the owl. And what's fun is that you're not supposed to be doing it, and it's a secret, but nothing really is happening. That's also on the table.
Yeah.
It's possible. But it's fucking weird, man. That was weird. Episodes of the Joe Rogan.
But Chad, they're right. To find all the real information, you can't go on YouTube because they'll just delete it. You have to go on websites like BitChute and shit like that. Alex Jones, the documentary, I think, is on BitChute. Just look up the Alex Jones Bohemian Grove documentary. Crazy shit. Joe Rogan reviews crazy terms of service.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh my God. I read TikTok's terms of service. I went down a TikTok rabbit hole yesterday.
Yeah, it's good.
I stayed home, smoked a little weed, and I started reading up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to read you this because this is so crazy.
Joe Rogan just be high as shit. Oh my God, this is wild. Bro, dude, man, this is some crazy shit, bro. Nah, man.
Is it good or bad?
Bad.
So what are you saying? It's a bad place to be?
Listen to this. This is from TikTok's privacy policy.
All right.
It said, we collect certain information about the device you use to access the platform, such as your IP address, user region. This is really crazy. User agent, mobile carrier, time zone settings, identifiers for advertising purpose, model of your device, the device system, network type, device IDs, your screen resolution and operating system, app and file names and types.
TikTok knows literally everything. So keep scrolling and make some money off of it, man.
So all the things you have filed away on your phone, they have access to that. File names and types, keystroke patterns or rhythms.
They know your keystrokes.
So they're monitoring your keystrokes, which means they know every fucking thing you type.
Wow.
Battery state, audio settings, and connected audio devices.
But nobody reads that. You just click and then scroll.
Where you log in from multiple devices. We will be able to use your profile information to identify your activity across devices. We may also associate you with information collected from devices other than those you use to log into the platform, meaning they can use other computers that you're not even using to log into TikTok. They can suck the data off that. That's what you're agreeing to when you download and start using TikTok.
That's why I don't have that app on my phone, bro.
That's wild.
It's insane. My question would be, do you think they did that? They created TikTok just on purpose to have all that?
Yes.
100%.
Wow.
I think they saw that people are addicted to social media.
Yep.
And they came up with the most addictive version of social media.
Yep. Chat, you could go scroll. Chat, WRL, how many of you can scroll for 3 hours on TikTok and then you're just like, whoa, where am I? Come on, how many of you have done that?
TikTok. It's the most addictive.
I've seen you do that.
By far. It's the best for sucking people in. My kids are fucking hook, line, sinkered on that shit. And I know a lot of other people are hook, line,
So
sinkered.
I'm telling you, chat, just use it for money. They already got all your data. It's like, it is what it is. Use it for your advantage, bro.
It's grown people.
It's good.
It's good. And it starts playing things immediately. The moment you turn it on, it's like playing you a new thing, playing you a new thing. You're like, "Ah!" and you just sucked into it. And all the while, it's monitoring your keystrokes, your audio settings. But by audio settings, that means it has access to your microphone. That means it's listening to you right.
Just tell me how it
right
ends,
now.
man.
It ends with China having all of your data. And if they develop
If they
a
get all
sort
the
of
data,
digital
then
currency,
what? Then what?
well, you're fucked.
Or-
Because if they look, what's going on in China? I don't know if you've
man.
seen this, but they pulled tanks in front of banks to stop people from fucking rioting because they just took all their money. Did you see all that? Yeah. Did you see that shit? Oh my God. They have shut down people's accounts and they're doing a social credit score system in China.
Okay.
And they have digital currency.
Video
of tanks shows Chinese military exercise, not bank barricade. Yeah, according to China and the AP. But if you see what's going on over there with the digital currency, what they have is the ability to tell you can't buy gas. Like, hey, Theo, we don't like the way you're living your life, so you're not going to be able to buy a plane ticket.
China's a dump, man.
They're actually not a dumb. China's the most advanced country, and they're turning their students into soldiers. They're ready to go. They're ready to go. 10-year-old girls are stronger than the gender fluid fucking bots we got walking around, overweight and shaved head with armpit hair. 10-year-old girls like, China, I love China because the V word is free and I will die for my country. And they're just uniform. They all believe in the same things. They're ready to go. And they're brainwashing us every single day the more you scroll.
There's cool people and I like some of the food, but I think it just, I don't know. I don't like the way they're doing it all.
Any military exercise they're doing when they're putting tanks in front of a bank is intimidation at the very least.
Do you think the people
Scaring
there
people
even
at the very
know what
least.
freedom is anymore, or you think they're just so brainwashed?
They've never had freedom like we have, so no.
They don't know what freedom is. They think freedom is just, I love my country. I love China. Sorry, that was bad.
I mean, they weren't even capitalist for a long time, right? It was a communist country, and then they realized, you know what? In order to compete, we got to loosen this up a little bit and let some people get greedy and make a shitload of money. And that's what they did. They kind of have a hybrid of capitalism and communism. You know, because in the old days, it was like the government would tell you what you do.
China, I mean, not China. Chat, shit. Fuck, they got me. They're getting me. Chat, L communism. L communism. Stop waving those hammer sickle flags like you're cool and edgy. You look stupid. Fuck the CCP. China's trying to control us, and bro, it's getting worse, bro.
The government would tell you what you get paid.
All right.
And you just did what you had to do. You did what you were told.
Right.
But what they do now is they allow people to get extraordinarily wealthy. So some people, they develop industries, they develop businesses, and they work in conjunction with the government. Like every business that exists in China, say it's a tech business, you are an arm of the government. You're not independent from the government. Like that was the concern with Huawei. Like when they were when they banned Huawei phones from being distributed in America. Do you know about all that?
I don't think so. It's not the gas station.
No, that's Wawa, right? What is it?
You're talking about flip phones?
It's a no, they have super complex. Smartphones like Huawei. It starts with an H. Huawei had some amazing phones.
Oh,
Huawei!
Huawei.
Okay.
Yeah, with an H.
Okay.
And they had amazing phones that they were using. Like they had like 100 megapixel digital cameras before anybody did. Really like high-end phones, but they also had network devices that were stealing data.
Fancy.
Yeah, well, they were stealing. They were using them as spy devices.
Okay.
You know, like all this shit that I was reading about TikTok. Well, they have a similar situation with like their routers.
So that's spying. So they're spying
100%.
basically.
Yeah. And you all signed up for it. You don't Chad, who here read the terms of service when you downloaded TikTok? No, the fuck you didn't.
100%.
But what do they do once they have all this information? Like, what's the end goal to having it all?
Brainwash. They want to brainwash you to make you weaker. They want to change your gender. They want to dumb you down. They want to farm all of your information and just keep feeding you information that just keeps you bot-minded. TikTok is a brainwashing app.
Oh,
FBI found Huawei equipment in Midwest could disrupt nuclear communications, CNN. And that is from yesterday. I'm going to send you...
Huawei!
This, Jamie, I'm going to send you some new thing. Hold on a second.
Dang.
Because this is really crazy. This is some shit that they found out where the FBI director starts talking about... I'll send you this, Jamie. Hold on a second. The FBI director was talking about how bad the Chinese spying is on Americans, and he said it's bigger than every other country combined.
Wow.
Why did
they took down the stream. I'll just put this in the clip. Look at that. They took down the stream. Look at the chat right now. They just took down my stream for policy violation, bro. Right in front of your face. Clear censorship. They don't want you to hear this information. Wake the fuck up, bro.